FS1 College Football is presented by Geico. The third member of our broadcast team is one of the top writers in all of college football, a magnificent insider. We're welcoming him to our team this year, Bruce Feldman.
Tim, 39-year-old Barry Odom was a terrific linebacker from Mizzou in the late 90s. Teammates said he had a no-back-down mentality and that he just wanted to be great. Eventually, he came back to his alma mater to work under Gary Pinkel. But he left a few years ago to go to Memphis and become a defensive coordinator where he helped turn that program around. Then last winter, he got the job to take over for Pinkel. Odom told me that he got a text from Pinkel last night. That message, go get him.
Does it hurt, does it, to have the moxie and experience of having been a Mizzou man with all that they went through off the field as a program a year ago, and Barry is just the right guy. Speaking of moxie, how about Dana Holgorsen? Boy, he has really turned it up a notch, but this year, I believe they think they've got what it takes if they can stay healthy on the defensive side of the ball to make a real run in the Big 12 as a contender. Alex Ross, the former Oklahoma star who took one back 100 yards here a season ago, is a graduate transfer from Missouri. Josh Heupel helped bring him in. Mike Molina, youngster from nearby Morgantown, boots it away, and Ross will take it. No, he'll say no and let it go through the end zone for a touchback, and that's where the Mountaineers will play defense against this Missouri team. Good idea to keep Ross off the field. And how about what to watch for, Spencer T?
Tim, I think Alex Ross is the guy you want to look for. He's got sprinter speed, a 200-meter guy, a champion back in high school in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He's the type of player that can make the difference and settle this quarterback who really struggled last year. And I think on the defensive side of the ball is Charles Harris, but this guy lives on the opponent's side of the ball. Led the conference in tackles for losses last year, continues that long-standing tradition of players on the defensive side.
To Ross, just ahead for a yard, and that's it. Jamon Moore is the wide receiver over there, number 6. He's the guy that takes the pass and gets out for 1 yard only. Ish Ritter is in that backfield now on 2nd down and 9. And it's Ritter taking it off the left side. And look at that Mountaineer defense. 3-3-5 in concept. They'll stuff the box, and that's Christian Brown, number 95, making the stop.
The early story here so far, Josh Heupel settling in quick with pace and tempo, trying to use it as a tactical advantage.
3rd and 7. Locke's pass is thrown incomplete, intended for Blanton, number 11. Kendall Blanton, the sophomore from Blue Springs, Missouri. Not much time off the clock. We do have a flag down, though. We have an SEC officiating crew today. Matt Austin, our referee.
Ineligible receiver downfield, number 10 of the offense. A penalty decline, 4th down.
Jason Reese, the guilty party, the tight end. They are going to be very watchful of that. Cannot go beyond 3 yards in that position. So they didn't keep the ball for long, did they? All of 40 seconds in a punt formation. Corey Fatoni will boot it away. Back deep is Gary Jennings, number 12 for West Virginia, standing at his 30. Beautiful high spiral angling towards the boundary, and well done. 31-yard line is where West Virginia will take over. On the boot for Fatoni, 50 yards. And what to watch for with Skyler Howard and company. Spencer?
Well, Skyler caught fire with an MVP performance last year in the Cactus Bowl win over Arizona State. Threw for a career-high 532 yards in that win. His continued development is something to watch for. And then Harris on the opposite side of him will be the disruptor, number 91. He's an edge rusher, but he can play well against the run. He is so disruptive. They move him around kind of like J.J. Watt at the National Football League level. He is a tough nut to crack.
Russell Shell is in the backfield, and the veteran running back, they'll use 3 today. Senior, it's out for a pickup of 5. We'll call it 2nd and 5. Thomas Wilson, the junior from Sewanee, Georgia, the free safety, coming up to make the tackle. Justin Crawford checks in along with Shell, number 25. And here goes Howard off the read option. He's an outstanding runner. Look at him go!
Beautiful job on the zone read at the mesh point. Howard takes it down, seeks the ball in the proper hand on the outside so he can have that inside hand free to defend off the would-be tackler if he needs it. That's excellent running by the quarterback, Howard.
They are huddling, but that is the first of what could be many explosive plays out of the run game. You see his career record 9-6. This is a guy that is just looked at all the odds and said, I'm going to beat them. On the quick slant, he finds Da'Keil Shorts. He's the guy they look to on third down, move the chain operations. Pickup of 9, second down and 1.
Da'Keil Shorts runs such great routes. He'll be able to find those zone patterns and set it down between those two defenders outside of him.
Shell, after some outstanding penetration up front by Joey Burkett, 34-91. Harris was also in there. And by the way, it didn't take Skyler Howard long to tell us in our meeting, Spencer, he knows where Harris is, and he's lining up at the one end one moment, one end the next, as you mentioned a moment ago. Third down and 3 after the loss. Shell is in the backfield, out of the gun. Out pattern is incomplete. Intended for Javon Durant. This is a youngster that they are really high on. Holgorsen believes he's the best all-around receiver they've got. Needed to add some weight and strength to go along with the speed. And on 4th and 3, they'll boot it away.
Yeah, Howard's got to pay that one off, though. That's a tough throw to make, again, across 3/4 of the field. The outcut, it's one of the requisite throws you have to run Dana Holgorsen's offensive system. They'll take another shot at it because I think the confidence is there in this offensive unit.
Jonathan Johnston back deep for Missouri. Billy Kinney will punt it away, the sophomore from Morgantown. And that one will go into the end zone for a touchback. 47 yards on that move. Couple of outstanding graduate transfers. It's a part of the game today. One from Oklahoma, the other from Alabama. The Mountaineer will fire away on cue for us. And as we welcome you back, let's take a look at our 4 keys to the game, Spence.
Well, it's really straightforward. If you're Drew Lock, the quarterback, everybody talks about his great arm and how he throws with that natural stroke. You got to be able to convert the features of that into benefits for the team. 2 and 6 won't get it done. And then can Kajust fight and deal with Harris on the opposite end of him on the defensive end side.
That's Yadni Kajust, youngster at tackle. As you see Jonathan Johnston take it out. Johnson hits it out to the 25-yard line. And there is Drew, young man that's got such a high ceiling for success. 2 and 6, but thrown to the Wolves a year ago with the problems with Matty Mock. Had twice as many interceptions as touchdowns. But they expect great things from him. Josh Heupel loves him. That pass is caught along the sidelines by Jamon Moore, the leading returning receiver, junior from Missouri City. And it's 3rd down and inches. Boy, are they playing fast. Nice cutback by Ross, and he lunges forward for what is a first down at the 31, maybe the 32.
Tim, you know, Alex Ross is a big back. He's 6'1", 220 pounds, but he can run. He's a sprinter. Lost his balance there, but I think he's going to be able to help this team find the balance it needs to remain competitive.
Lock looking at a streak pattern down the sidelines for Emmanuel Hall, number 84, incomplete. Maurice Fleming was over there to provide coverage. Number 24, yet another graduate transfer. This is a young man that was at Iowa and running down a lot of talented players in the Big Ten a season ago.
Showing some of the maturity here, Locke diagnosing the play and getting something more appetizing.
Calls his own number here. But again, outstanding penetration up front by the Mountaineers as Sean Walters, number 27. He's become quite a leader for this team, makes the stop.
Yeah, Walters was there, but this is a self-tackle. You can see, Drew, he trips over his own feet. Again, lineman getting pushed back in the backfield. You always have to plan on that outside foot, or if you're cutting to the outside, use the right foot to go left. That's just a mistake by the quarterback.
Kevin Pendleton, the guard, actually tripped him up. As you see Ross burrow ahead to about the 36-yard line. Justin Arndt, number 30, and Darian Howard, another sticker inside that West Virginia defense, collaborate on the tackle.
Justin Arndt is going to be a big playmaker. There's a guy that's undersized, converted running back. They don't take him off the field for any situation. He's just that much of an active player. They're so high on him. He's a hard hat and lunch pail kind of a guy. He's a difference maker.
So on 4th and 6, Fatoni to boot it away. Gary Jennings back deep again, angling towards the boundary. This one little shorter than the first. Good field position for West Virginia when we come back. And the youngster that said, no, you know what, I'm going to walk on somewhere. If not Stephen F. Austin, how about West Virginia? We'll see him when we come back. Howard, in his senior season, longed to be a quarterback from the time he was in the 6th grade out of Fort Worth, one of many 3,000. Think about it, Chad Kelly and Deshaun Watson, I'd say he's a sleeper for the Heisman, right? Why not with his story?
He's on the Manning and Campbell and O'Brien watch list.
Absolutely.
Everybody thinks highly of him.
Coming off a 532-yard performance in the Cactus Bowl win over Arizona State. Russell Shell gets ahead to about the 40-yard line. You know, you talk to Howard about his plight and how he went about it. He and his mom started surveying opportunities, calling around. Size was always the issue.
You know, I thought about his story. He reminds me a lot of Baker Mayfield, who had a similar route. Not much respect. Coming out, rejected at Texas Tech, walked on, and that puts a chip on the kid's shoulder, Timmy. It puts you in a mind frame where you're ready to take on the world, and he's got that. And you see that grit and resiliency play out. I mean, he's got his degree already, his undergraduate degree, working on his master's in marketing right now. This is a sharp quarterback.
After the run by Shell, it's 3rd down and 5 coming up. Shelton Gibson is the big play wide receiver. He's down at the bottom of your screen as they go with a trip set out of the shotgun. Over the middle to Shorts. Da'Keil Shorts with a first down.
They call him a possession guy, and you call him what you will, but you can get big chunk yardage after that. Shorts does a tremendous job of finding that soft spot in that zone. 114 career catches, 1,300 yards for Shorts.
Sherrill's made the stop. They go with the wide receiver screen to Gibson. He is lightning quick. Stopped at the 31-yard line with a shoestring tackle made by Donovan Newsom, number 25. It's a young man that's coming in for that Missouri defense where Kentrell Brothers was a season ago. Went on to become a 5th-round draft pick with the Minnesota Vikings. This is a very tough defense. Their front 7 considered one of the tops in the country. A pass defense that was in the top 5 a season ago and expects to do much the same this year. 2nd and 3. Shell down to the 25-yard line.
Well, the transfer from Pitt, summer of 2013, one of the Big 12's best backs. Backed up Smallwood last year. He's going to be a staple of this system. But I think right now, Timmy, their ability to find receivers down the field, a nice complementary 2-and-1 matchup that is 2 passing plays versus 1 play is a nice little rhythm that gives Dana Holgorsen some sense and confidence as he moves down the field against a very stout Missouri defense.
Karan White, number 2, is coming to the game at wide receiver. Crawford's also in the backfield. It is Shell that gets it. Outstanding recognition that time by Michael Shear, number 30, the senior from St. Louis, a former running back making the stop. Had 93 tackles, 147 solos a year ago.
Well, West Virginia is going to have to move and push the edges because, again, they're not going to win the strength battle, but they're going to have to move the front here of Missouri.
2nd and 9. There's Shorts again. First down.
Nice 12, 13-yard end cut by Shorts. Again, this is just basically reading soft covers. It turns into a hybrid man coverage behind it. Howard did a tremendous job of discerning what they were trying to do. They gave him what we call a bastard read. It was a false look, and he bailed and decided in real time where the ball needed to go. That's just brilliant pitch and catch there by the quarterback and receiver.
1st and goal, right on the 10. Crawford, the back that will carry this time. He's quick too. This young man basically here because of the loss of Wendell Smallwood, who was the leading rusher in the Big 12. It was really funny. Dana Holgorsen said, if we don't get him, Missouri does.
Well, he's an explosive back too, Tim. He had 11 runs of 50-plus yards when he's in the junior college level. So they're using him down here in the green zone as they get close to 5 yards in, but he's capable of breaking it all the way.
On 2nd and goal, Howard hammered down at the 2-yard line. Shear popped him good, and he bounced right back up like a springboard.
Well, again, it was a springboard, but the fact that he can take this kind of punishment and get up with the reaction that he does kind of tells you something. Yeah, with the head nod. You got some more? Bring it, baby.
He said to us,
this kid's savage.
Yeah, he said to us in our meeting yesterday, he says, I take great pleasure in doing what others say I can't do.
That's what you call grit right there. And we know grit is more reliable indicator of a person's going to succeed or fail in life. He's got it in spades, Tom.
3rd and goal. High snap. That really was a problem in that play. That snap was a little high. He had to wait on it, and he got it down to the 1. Shear grabbed him, and that changes things here.
Snap is part of the problem, but the quarterback can't compound it. He's got to get his shoulders down. Low man wins down here around the goal line. That's just a mistake. You got to get lower than the person. The lowest guy in the leverage point will win those battles.
So the tough inside portion of that Missouri defense denies West Virginia. And Molina, the redshirt junior from Hurricane, West Virginia, is in for the field goal. Remember Josh Lambert, the outstanding star kicker, out for the first 3 games. A 19-yarder to get the first points of the day. 10 plays, 60 yards, but West Virginia denied the end zone by that stingy Show Me State D of Missouri. It's the Big 12 in the SEC. FS1 College Football brought to you by Geico, with West Virginia now leading 3-0. Tim Brando, Spencer Tillman, Bruce Feldman inside Mountaineer Field on a beautiful day. Temp in the mid-70s. Just gorgeous. 11 plays, 60 yards that drive, ending with the Molina field goal. By the way, I should have known this, and I forgot. We have a Hurricane Louisiana. It's Hurricane West Virginia, as opposed to Hurricane. But sometimes having a hurricane behind the kick always helps. There's Ross back deep. Demarie Crockett. We'll see plenty of him today. As a youngster freshman that's got an outstanding future, is also back deep with him, as Molina prepares to kick it away. This one will be fielded. It's Crockett at the 9. Just shy of the 25-yard line. And now let's go back to Los Angeles. A game break with Mike Hill. Mike?
All right, Tim, number 6, Ohio State in Bowling Green after a pick 6 on his first possession. J.T. Barrett making a bend to K.J. Hill. Love that name. 47 yards on the score, and just like that, it's tied at 7 still early in the first. Tim, Spencer, back to you.
Thank you, Mike. Great to hear your voice again. And we'll be hearing quite a bit of it today and throughout the entire college football season. Marvin Zanders has come in, a super sop from Jacksonville, Florida. Athletically, he brings this to the table. It's a first down, just shy of a 20-yard pickup beyond the 40-yard line. Finally run down by Jeremy Tyler, senior leader in that secondary of that 3-3-5, anchored by defensive coordinator Tony Gibson. A 21-yard pickup on his first play. We did notice that Locke was a little dinged on one of the plays at the end of the last sequence for Missouri. Zanders stretching the field, using the depth of it, and a late flag comes down as he's hit inside the 50 of the Mountaineers.
And while they sort this out, Josh Heupel working, obviously trying to put his new quarterback on the field in a position to make plays running. And you can see, here's the ball seated in the proper hand. I don't think that's worth infraction. I think he's actually in bounds. That's in progress.
Holding. Offense number 87. 10-yard penalty for the end of the run. Repeat first down.
Well, that one hurt. Thinking maybe Al-Rashid Benton had gotten there maybe a little late. Instead, it's a hold. It goes back the other way.
Yeah, but what Josh Heupel is trying to do, they had a cluster formation up to the top, 3 receivers in a bunch. They're running away from that with the quarterback run option the opposite direction. He's looking for matchups, a way to spark it. Prior to that run, Tim, 10 yards on 4 plays for the Missouri Tigers rushing.
Play fake. That's Lorraine. And he is stopped in his tracks. Now they're going to say, nope, incomplete. Ball was dropped. Let's go down to Bruce Feldman. Bruce?
Locke's fine. It was just, this is a change of pace. They really like Zanders. He's a dynamic athlete, and they just wanted to give him a spark. I expect to see Locke in the game soon, too, though.
Yeah, he's making his way back onto the field right now. They used him, Zanders, in goal line packages against Mississippi State a year ago. Here's Ish Witter beyond the 45 to the 47-yard line, the junior from Tampa.
Well, the key is, can they navigate with both quarterbacks and get the right personnel in the game? They had some problems when they tried to go pace and tempo when Zanders came into the game and they made the switch. Looks like they've settled in a little bit here. Trips formation.
Ritter remains the lone setback with Luck back in at quarterback. Pressure, lets it fly deep. Incomplete, intended for Jonathan Johnson, number 12. This is the youngster from Memphis, Tennessee's Melrose High School. Was injured last season, but he is a burner.
Inexperience up front of the offensive line really paid the price at Lock there. Not enough time to throw it. Hemorrhaging. That was a sieve on that play. They got to shore that up if he's going to have a chance to make those passes down the field.
That was Kaiser White, one of the White brothers that was providing all of that pressure. 4th down at 8. Fatoni will boot it away. Jennings is back deep. And we've got a flag down.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 1 offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
So some issues with special teams. Fatoni coming off a shanked punt a moment ago. Only 25 yards after a 50-yarder. We'll try to get this one off in good shape. A magnificent high school punter in Franklin, Tennessee. Averaged just under 43 yards per punt. This one's a low, tight spiral, sending Jennings back.
Nice coverage.
And great coverage. Just tremendous by Missouri. Stopped inside the 10-yard line. Anthony Sherrills does a little bit of everything for them on their back end defensively and in special teams. Everybody is suited up, looking their Sunday best on this Saturday in Morgantown. Every weekday morning, Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp go head-to-head on the day's hottest sports topics. Undisputed with Skip and Shannon premieres Tuesday, 9:30 Eastern Time in the morning, 6:30 Pacific, only on FS1. Tim Brando, Spencer Tillman, Bruce Feldman, happy to have you with us from Morgantown. 4:25 remaining in the first quarter. Crawford in the backfield and bursting ahead beyond the 15 over the right-hand side. They'll mark him down just shy of the 16-yard line.
Crawford may be a mystery to a lot of folks, but the folks that follow the game of football know he's a big, quick-twitch, fiber-motive guy that can run.
As this guy can, too. Howard thought he deked the Missouri defense a little bit with that second pump fake and got ahead for 7 yards and a first down. Spencer Williams, number 13, made the stop for Missouri.
Had a big game against Kansas last year. I think had over 120 yards rushing, so he can tote it.
Crawford again.
Nice pass.
Look out when he gets to the edge. Past the 30 to the 31-yard line. Joey Burkett wraps him up.
I love the instincts because he's going to come here and then bounce to the outside. That just shows you he has the capacity to read what's happening in front of him. Vision, one of the strongest assets of a running back, particularly in this spread era, Tim.
2nd and 3. Howard with plenty of time. Now he's flushed. Looking for help and throws it away. And outside the tackle box, and discretion the better part of valor. He unloaded.
That was a quality decision, and you can see again another example of that best-in-class offensive line protecting him, giving quarterback as much time as he needs to, in this case, throw the ball away. But he's got so many weapons downfield, Tim. He'll be making plays, not just today, but for the remainder of the season, with this rushing game complementing so well what they're doing in the passing attack.
Well, Da'Keel Shorts, number 6, has been the go-to guy in these situations. 3rd down and 3. He's the move-the-change receiver in the slot. Underneath, it's Crawford. The extra effort gets him the first down. Nice adjustment that time, and progression by the quarterback, Howard. Marcel Frazier, the tackle.
And give credit to the coverage on the back end. I think Damani Cross did a nice job with his defensive unit in covering and making that the only option for the quarterback.
Woodbridge wide open for Crawford here. Look out! John Gibson, the saving tackle.
Timmy told you he had 11 runs of 50-plus yards at the junior college level. He shows you a little bit of that burst and a loosening with an open field, 5'11", 198 pounds of speed.
29 yards on that carry. Stopped for a little or no gain this time. You mentioned that 11 runs of 50-plus yards that he had at the junior college level in that national championship run at Northwest Mississippi Community College. Think about this. West Virginia, even with Smallwood, did not have nearly that number as a team. In fact, the past 2 seasons, they simply did not have the explosive plays. Only 4 50-plus yard runs in the past 2 years for West Virginia. So in a lot of ways, Crawford gives them that extra dimension.
He really does. And a touch of irony, he had an official visit at Missouri January 22nd, and then at West Virginia on the 29th.
Going for that post corner move. Good coverage. Karan White, the intended receiver, but Thomas Wilson right there with him. Crowd doesn't like it, but he was playing the ball beautifully. Watch his head.
White does a great job. The corner can't blitz the sneak. He thinks he's open, but great coverage on the outside. That's just great coverage. The ball was overthrown. That's nothing to complain about there. That's great execution on defense.
The college game, the jousting is allowed as long as you're playing the ball. Make sure you turn that head as he did 10 yards downfield. 3rd down, 11. The backside, but he escapes. Looking long. Flags are down in the end zone. We'll have interference. Devontae Mathis, 82, the receiver. But they'll have a bailout on the interference that will be called.
Tim, while they sort that out, Yandi Kajush, number 55, their left tackle, is out of the game. We'll be keeping an eye on him, but watching who he's fighting against on that opposite side, because he's going to be a key to this team's success.
Yeah, he's dealing with Harris.
Defense number 5. 15-yard penalty to the previous spot. Automatic first down.
John Gibson, the guilty party here, number 5.
Well, he did put his hand on his back, and he's got the other left hand on the front of his jersey, and again in clear sight of the official. He's going to catch that every time.
I saw one worse than that in Stanford last night that went uncalled.
I think the ball was uncatchable. I just think that when you put your hand on the guy's chest like that, the official sees it. If he doesn't make it, it's an indictment on him.
From the 23, first down after the penalty.
Nice draw.
Little delay. Shell! Rochelle Shell! Touchdown! yards for the touchdown.
Speaking of 23, how about his 23rd birthday coming up on Wednesday, September 7th? That's kind of cool. A little early birthday present. 23 yards and 23rd birthday on the way.
Molina for the extra point. Shell, the Pitt transfer, has been playing stronger. He's been pushed by Justin Crawford and Kennedy McCoy. Yes, he's going to turn 23, but right now, number 7 is rolling sevens, and they lead by 10. 1:35 remaining. They are showing their gold today, huh? Here in West Virginia. There's Russell Shell, the young man at 16 yards on 6 carries before that 23-yard jaunt, so he's up to 39 on the day, and the lead now is up to 10.
Well, he had over 800 yards rushing last year, and again, he's quite comfortable with the position.
It's a big series here for Missouri, a team still trying to get their feet underneath them offensively with a lot of new personnel, veteran though it may be, with the help of guys like Alex Ross and Chris Black. We'll see what they can do here on this possession after Ross brings it out. Mentioned he went 100 yards as an Oklahoma Sooner a year ago. Gets it out to the 23 here. Another game break now with Mike Hill. Mike?
Many saying this could be number 7 Michigan's year. Jim Harbaugh fired up about that, naming Wilton Speight his starting quarterback, getting his first career start. Here he is, rolling, finds Jake Butt, and Butt finds the end zone, and 14-0 Michigan over Hawaii in the first in this one. Hey, Tim Spence, back to you. It could be Harbaugh's year.
It could be. By the way, how about the Hawaii schedule? play in Sydney, Australia, and then come back to the big house.
That's not bad.
I hope the check is a good one.
But that's going to be an interesting conference this year with Harbaugh making so much noise in the offseason.
Alex Ross in the backfield, and you see Locke off that fake to him, scampers out beyond the 33 to the 34-yard line. So Drew Locke showing that he can tote it some as well, the sophomore from Lee's Summit, Missouri. That man we mentioned that's got such a magnificent future. Was an outstanding basketball player, too. Hasn't played a lot of football in his career. Ross has stopped in his tracks. Nothing doing there against Christian Brown, number 95, the senior from Fort Myers, Florida, who made the stop.
Well, the effort to get yards on the ground is going to be a concerted effort. Missouri rushed for just 1,385 yards and 5 TDs last year. That was the worst finish in school history.
That pass incomplete, intended for Jamon Moore.
Yeah, again, we talked about being able to convert the features of that nice arm into benefits for this team. The benefit would have been a completion.
This is a big play. They don't need to be giving West Virginia the ball back on a 3-and-out or a second series 3-and-out. That pass incomplete. A lot of confusion from penetration coming from West Virginia defensively. We do have a marker down, though. That could help them out. And we've got an injured Mountaineer as well. I believe that's Crawford. Antonio Crawford, the senior, transfer from Miami. It's down on the turf at the 30-yard line.
There's a lot of traffic going on underneath in those shallow crossing routes, Tim. A lot of bodies banging into each other, and Crawford was involved in the collision there, and he went down immediately like a shot.
Well, Missouri only 1 of 5 on third down conversion opportunities. Here's where he gets hit by the tight end Sean Culkin. Really chipped him there and got him.
Well, you can call it a chip. I'm going to call it a pick.
Yep.
Intentional pick to make that route come open. And again, Dana Holgorsen is not happy about it.
Yeah, he's letting them know, too. Barry Odom looks on.
What a great guy Barry Odom is. And talking to him last night, Timmy, the brief time that we had was you saw the confidence and commitment.
Pass interference. Offense number 80. Penalties decline. 4th down.
Well, they called him on the pick. They got it. That's a great call by you, Spencer.
Well, again, the key is if you're going to do it, you got to make it look incidental.
Yeah.
You got to be a bit of an actor. And
your old 49er friends were better at that.
Oh yeah, you had to do it.
When you got that Super Bowl win.
Yeah. It was all about skill and finesse there at San Francisco. They were too busy drinking Chardonnay and eating prawns.
Here it is again, and you can see obviously it's a pick by Culkin.
You lean in with that left shoulder like that. That kind of takes all of the mystery out of it.
Crawford able to get up under his own power and make his way back to the sidelines. This West Virginia defense now, they haven't had an opponent in the last 25 games convert 50% of their third downs. That's the longest streak in the Big 12.
Well, Timmy, this West Virginia back in, they became their identity. We know about Dana Holgorsen's offensive prowess. He comes from that Hal Mummy tree. But this became a defensive team last year.
It did.
Characterized by his back end, again, that led the league with 31 turnovers.
Yeah, well, getting Tony Gibson back was huge for them after the time that he spent briefly at Pitt and then out at Arizona with Rich Rod. That kick is taken by Jennings and downed immediately. Great coverage after the 48-yard boot by Missouri. And we've got some word on Yodny Kajust from Bruce Feldman. Bruce?
Yodny Kajust will not return in the game. Ice pack on his right knee. It really doesn't look good. A lot of teammates coming over to console him. He's got his head under the towel. Dana Holgorsen came over. Just a lot of guys really shaken up. Keep in mind, this is a guy, when we talked to Joe Wickline, longtime offensive line coach, who said he reminds him of Russell Okung, his former first-round pick. He is that talented.
That's a big blow. I mean, they've got so much depth on that offensive line, but I had a chance to speak with Yodny yesterday just before the game, before practice started, and he said he was looking forward to today.
Outstanding effort by Crawford. That pass was thrown behind him. They lose ground on it. But you mentioned they've got some depth there, but they've also been injured. And, Adam Pankey suspended because of the issues off the field for this game. And Tony Mateo is playing at guard, too. So now they've got a backup in at tackle where Kajust would be. And that would I would think the eyes of Charles Harris, number 91 of Missouri, would be lighting up at the thought of the pressure that could be brought. And Marcel Frazier on that other end as well. And we come to the end of the first quarter here in Morgantown, West Virginia, with 10 unanswered points in their home opener as the Big 12 and the Southeastern Conference get it going. College football 2016 on FS1. With the homestanding Mountaineers up by 10, along with Bruce Feldman on the sidelines and Spencer Tillman. Tim Brando, happy to have you with us. So far, West Virginia defensively has stuffed this Missouri team. On the flip side, the Mountaineers seem to be gaining some traction right now.
Well, Justin Crawford is one of the guys that's the reason why that is the case. He's been impressive to me from Georgia. He's an outstanding guy when you look at him from a physical size standpoint, but the athleticism he's shown, Timmy, and catching balls off balance has been impressive. If they find a way to isolate him and get him one-on-one, it's going to be Katie Bar the door because this guy is gifted.
They're going to lean this Missouri team on their defense, and never have they needed it more than now. They've got West Virginia backed up. They need to stop and maintain contact in this game. And Crawford, that's an outstanding tackle in space made against him by Terez Hall. Number 24, the sophomore from Lithonia, Georgia, making the stop.
Well, you can see he plays it inside out. That's the way you play it. Your helmet on the outside to the near side of the sideline so that you force him to come underneath where you've got a convoy of help to help you make the tackle.
3rd and 16. Safety valve is Crawford. Ahead to the 18-yard line before cracked down by Shear. So Missouri's defense gets the job done. And it's a punt formation coming now for West Virginia.
Yeah, but the thought there is I'm seeing Joe Wickline, the offensive coordinator, try to get number 25 in open space because he sees a size and ability advantage that he can exploit. Wickline has a weapon in number 25, Justin Crawford.
Now you mentioned Wickline, a longtime assistant coach at Oklahoma State, another offensive line guy in pedigree, who's now joined Ron Crook here on the staff with Dana Holgerson. Big time boot down to Jonathan Johnson. Inside is 30. Down he goes. 53 yards the boot, only a 2-yard return. So nice work by Billy Kinney. Toyas Avery was down there to make the tackle. Well, it's time for the Missouri offense to folks love their football and want you to love them. Fantastic crowd, packed to capacity yet again here on FS1 as we begin our Saturday of college football coverage. On first down, Locke's pass is the slant. It's caught by Chris Black, and the Alabama transfer gets his first reception of the day into West Virginia territory to the 45-yard line. 25 yards the pickup. They're going quickly, and Tamari Crockett, number 16, carrying it. This is the freshman from Little Rock Christian High School, 4-star recruit, a magnificent runner, considered the 9th best running back coming out of high school a season ago, has tremendous feet. And I know you love those short, choppy steps, Spencer T.
I'm looking for what they're setting up here. They went to that trips bunch formation and then ran it.
There it is again. It's Jamon Moore this time on the quick hitter inside the 30 to the 27-yard line.
That's what they're setting up. As I'm looking at them develop and move down the field, it reminds me of Art Briles' old system where you've got 3 guys on 2 yards from the line of scrimmage, but 2 yards from the sideline and still want to run the football out of that look.
Crockett dropped it. It's recovered by West Virginia. It's Brown on top of it. Christian Brown.
All 305 pounds of him out of Bridgeton, New Jersey. Does an excellent job of sniffing that one out. The penetration in the middle, you can see again, does a nice job of just being patient and waiting on the ball and waiting on it to come out and then discern what's happening and keeping your nose in the play.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's about being assignment conscious and being at the right place at the right time, too.
Adam Schuler, 88, is who stripped it. Al Rashid Benton was also in there, number 3. But Christian Brown came out of there with it. Well, the best threat of the day snuffed out by the turnover. And here's Russell Shell taking it ahead for only about a yard. Shearer with the stop. And the takeaways continue And this is all after Tony Gibson rejoined this program under Dana Holgorsen.
It's intentional, and they've made a habit out of it. But a lot of times, Oklahoma State, for example, is another team that had a lot of turnovers. Predicting it back-to-back years is tough, though, Timmy. West Virginia has.
That one's left on the deck. Karan White incomplete, the intended receiver.
When you have success via the turnover, it can change the complexion of how games operate. It did a game last week where the team that won by 10 points had 191 fewer yards, possessed the ball 14 fewer minutes, and then had 51 plays to the opposition's 80 play. Again, that's what turnovers, the impact they can have on the outcome.
There's Gibby.
Yeah.
Tony Gibson, you make a case that he's a Broyles Award winner in waiting. He did a marvelous job here with Rich Rodriguez, came back from Arizona. Dana Holgorsen got this is home for him. He loves it here. That pass is caught. That's a first down. Da'Keil Shorts again. Boy, was Skyler Howard on target when he said he's my move the chains guy.
Well, he's a gifted guy that finds the opening, and he's able to navigate the back end and read it just like a quarterback does.
Shell. Nice adjustment. Gets ahead to the 40-yard line. Well, you touched on Joe Wickline a moment ago. We mentioned that he's an O-line coach that's really helping out. Something Dana Holgorsen told us about with the speed of this game, having another tested offensive line coach as his eyes upstairs to work in concert with Ron Crook, his offensive line coach downstairs, could make a world of difference in what Dana can do and the confidence that he has.
Indeed, and it's because of the millennial cohort, Timmy. They're a different breed. Sometimes you need a coach down to get in the face and then manage and feel how to respond and coach them.
Oh, there's Shorts on the quick hitter. First down at the 30. Shell remains in the game. They have turned up the volume here in Morgantown. Off the zone read, Skyler Howard gets ahead for about 4. Here's a look at that previous play.
Initially there, and then Cameron Rivers, the safety at 6'2", 200 pounds, was the one that got beat. A dart underneath that coverage. They didn't have to take the top over it because there was a soft spot underneath that coverage, Timmy, and he found it.
10 of 14 for 96 yards. Howard's also got 30 yards rushing the football. He had 532 of their 678 against Arizona State. Well, the end zone incomplete. Going for Sheldon Gibson. We've got a flag down. I think they're going to get Thomas Wilson, number 8. It's the first time he started for them, for Missouri.
Pass interference. Defense number 11.
Oh, they got 11 instead.
Penalty, automatic first down.
Arian Penton, who is a veteran corner, is the guilty party.
Well, neither one of them needed to make contact.
Yeah.
And again, that ball was going to be over their heads, and they're going to wish they had that back. And again, they've got banjo coverage inside and out with the safety in the corner. The likelihood of that one being completed was slim and none.
Yeah, you can make a case it was uncatchable.
Yep.
You could. Justin Crawford is checked back into the game.
You better be sure they're going to make sure they find a way to get the ball to him down here. With the trip formation, Solo at the 10 at the numbers, they would love to get Crawford the ball in this situation.
Shorts is in the slot to the bottom of your screen, number 6. And our officials are having a side adjustment and conversation. Matt Austin is our referee. They may be concerned about where the ball was spotted. That looks to be what the conversation could be about. And sometimes when the pace of play is as quick as it is, it can happen. You can forget exactly where you lined the football up.
Everybody talks about the players as they move that clock back up to restore that time. It's not just the players and the coaches that have to adjust. It's the chain game and everybody else.
First and 10 from the 11.
And a pressure look on the outside. He's making an adjustment at the play, changing the play.
He checked it, and it's incomplete. Intended for Shorts. He's running a crossing pattern.
Did a nice job, did the offensive line in picking up the pressure. They brought 5, did Missouri on that. Created a man-on-man situation. Everybody else, you're looking for one guy to win. Nice job for that offensive line.
And it is McKivitz, 53, that's in there for Yadni Kajusna at that tackle spot. Howard dealing with some deep penetration from that Missouri defense. Boy, are they quick sideline to sideline. Arian Penton along with Thomas Wilson, number 8, were in hot pursuit. 3rd down and 9 with the ball at the 10. So a first down can be picked up without the touchdown. Crawford remains in the game. Shorts again in the slot to the bottom of your screen. Tyler Orlovsky over center, helping with the reads many times for Skyler Howard. He goes to Crawford. He's got a little room going towards the boundary, but it's snuffed out quickly by that penetrating defense of Missouri. Really well done by Donovan Newsom, number 25.
It was. Sometimes, Tim, it's tempting to go to the wide side of the field, but the opportunity on this play, as Dana Holgorsen looks at this and Howard look at it again, the opportunity was to run the ball. He moved the back to the opposite side, but the opportunity against that open front, that is a defensive end, no one over the next guy, and then the nose tackle, there was no one there. They could have run the ball easily for 5-10 yards.
Molina for a 26-yarder from the right hash. He boots it through, and the lead up to 13. Missouri's D stiffens yet again, but they're going to need some help from their offense when we come back. The Mountaineers lead by a baker's dozen at home on opening day. Let the band play on. West Virginia leading it 13-0. 9:32 remaining in the first half. You know, Spencer, Missouri's defense has done a really nice job of keeping them in it, but penalties have really served a purpose for West Virginia. 4 penalties of 45 yards against Missouri have 8 as Molina prepares to kick it away. Alex Ross and Demarie Crockett back deep.
Well, you and I talked last night, and we thought it was going to be a fairly low-scoring game, and that may come as a shock when you're talking about West Virginia, who won its first Big 12 game, scoring 70 points.
But we also thought there would be big plays in this game.
Yeah, there may be 4. There may be them big plays before.
Well, the old Big 12 and the new Big 12, right? The currency of college football is history, but times are changing. This is what happened from 96 to 210. And then in 2011, Colorado goes to the Pac-12, Nebraska to the Big 10. Now Missouri and Texas A&M go to the SEC in 2012. West Virginia and TCU join the Big 12 Conference. And who knows what might be happening between now and the hunt for mid-October for Bob Bowlesby and Big 12 leaders.
I'm just saying, that question mark I put in there is Houston.
Yeah, indeed. And they're underway today, as you know. That is Ish Ritter, spun down at the 26-yard line by Jeremy Tyler. Yeah, the West Virginia move, though, has paid huge dividends for the talent ensemble that they've been able to bring in of late. With bootleg action here for Rock, going to the wide side of the field, ushers himself out at the 32-yard line.
I think geographically it may be a challenge, but no one can refute the fact that in a league where Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, and others that spread you out, they're certainly at home. It's their neighborhood.
3rd down and 3. It's in the backfield. Looking long for Jamon Moore. He's got it and still won't go down. Finally, wrestled out at about the 25-yard line by Antilles.
He led the team in both catches and yards while emerging as a big play threat. He's doubling up. We talked to Josh Heupel about will he show up with consistency this year. You can see he plays with an edge. He needs to play consistently to help his team win.
Well, that was a dart thrown by Locke. And another one, this time to Moore, down to the 19-yard line. You can really understand what they see in him, what Josh Heupel loves about him as a quarterback.
He made an acrobatic catch against BYU last year. The 3rd goal was unbelievable.
Witter takes it inside for another healthy gain. Kaiser White making the stop. First down 10 with the ball at the 12. Ritter again, stopped this time after a gain of 2. Darian Howard, 49, making the tackle.
When you're looking for players to improve year over year, speaking of Jamon Moore, he had a big jump from 2014, 2 catches, 12 yards, and then from 2015, 29 in 12 games. They just need him to be more consistent and continue that upward flight.
Play fake, lock, loops it in, intended for Moore, who was tightly covered that time in man coverage by Harper, 22. Let's go down to Bruce Feldman.
Hey, Timmy, a little wrinkle here from the new Mizzou staff. They are showing some Baylor offense.
Yep.
Their guys are aligned so far, the receivers so far horizontally across the field. The difference is they do not have the Baylor speed at receiver, and they're not executing quite the same level, obviously.
And we got a quick timeout taken by West Virginia. They were on their heels. Missouri had been moving quickly, and Tony Gibson wants to talk about it a bit. We'll see how this Baylor light offensive approach works inside the red zone. 7:47 remaining. Best chance for Missouri to score. It's third down, 7. We'll call it 8. Flags down, pre-snap, should be procedure.
West Virginia kind of showing some sugar looks here, the little faux blitz. Got that offensive front, inexperienced as it is to move.
Before the snap, false start, 71 offense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Kevin Pendleton, the left guard, the guilty party. This actually, given the offense, might help. The extra 5 yards in this particular sequence could be beneficial to Missouri.
It just depends on how much pressure they can put. They're showing a 2-man shell, Tim, so that gives me some sense that they're not able to put pressure on it.
Jamon Moore is down at the bottom of your screen. Safety valve, there he is. Moore's got it. Down to the 7. He's shy of the first down. And it's Maurice Fleming that did the job on him. He did a nice job on that crossing pattern. That's who he had in mind all the time.
It's about making one guy miss, particularly when you get inside this red area. And they're more with a nice spin move. Tries to get out of that sure-handed tackle. It's an outstanding job of Moore trying to get the yardage. Have to settle for the field goal.
Fleming with the shoestring tackle, the Iowa transfer, played nickel for the Hawkeyes a year ago. Tucker McCann, youngster from O'Fallon, Illinois, puts it through. And Missouri is on the board for their brand new head coach, Barry Odom Jr. Timeout. Tradition-rich location, West Virginia. Think about it. Bobby Bowden coached for 5 years here. Don Nalen had a magnificent run. The Mountain Men loved it then, they love it now. And why not? Always some room in the student section here. Major Harris, by the way, was the quarterback that authored that undefeated season back in 1988 and led to the 1989 Fiesta Bowl loss to Notre Dame for Lou Holtz's only national championship. Major still gets over from Pittsburgh from time to time to see his Mountaineers. Jennings and Sheldon Gibson are back deep.
Tim, did you mention Rich Rod in our
pantheon
of coaches?
Rich Rod is certainly, he and Tavon Austin and that group had a marvelous run that Holgerson inherited. Speaking of runs, how about this one from Sheldon Gibson on the return?
Well, the team leader in receiving yards last year, trying to make his presence felt on returns, and again he found a seam. Nice job of Shelton just seating the ball properly and then hitting that hole. Believe me, when you're playing on coverage teams, when you see a quick opening, you got to hit it, get vertical, north and south, and he does a great job of navigating, showing patience as Gibson, and then working that sideline and seating that ball properly, get all he could out of that return.
Russell Shell is in the backfield. He's had a very good first half, as has Crawford. On the draw, nothing doing. Again, Missouri with great penetration up front. Brandon Lee, number 4, leads the way this time.
Well, with Jordan Harold and company, Hatley, all those guys up front on defense, it's tough getting yards against them inside.
Second down, 14. Skyler Howard a little late with that delivery, intended for Durant, number 5.
Durant was making his way back underneath, being chased in a trail technique, and Howard tried to make a throw across his body, and that just wasn't going to work. The mechanics, it's tough to make that one. That's one of the core rules. Never throw back across your body, running one direction, trying to make a completion back the other way.
Skyler managed to make it to Riverside Community College, where Darren Cheverini and Tom Kraft gave him an opportunity. Said he wouldn't be here today if it weren't for them. That pass is a dart. It's complete, just shy of midfield to Gibson. They'll mark it just past the 48-yard line. The stop made by Arian Penton.
Tim, that's a grown man throw here. The deep out cut across the field. You got to have a strong arm and a lot of confidence. Howard showed it on that play.
It certainly will help with field position, though it's not enough for the first down. Jonathan Johnson, number 12, will back up to his 10-yard line or so, awaiting the oncoming punt from Billy Kinney. Fair catch called for, and it lands like a 9-iron.
A little backspin on that too, right?
Let's get a game break on your Sooners, Spencer T. Check on them with Mike Hill.
Good matchup here. Number 3 Oklahoma at number 15 Houston. Right after the Cougars took a 13-10 lead. Sooners right back. Baker Mayfield, the All-American, to Mark Andrews. 64 yards for the score. And Spencer, don't worry. We'll keep an eye on these boys for you. It's 17-16 Sooners right now in the second.
I'm worried more about keeping an eye on Greg Ward, that mobile quarterback for Tom Herman, the former Iowa State coordinator that came in and ran the table pretty much last year.
Can you say fly in the ointment with
Yes,
Houston?
sir.
If they win that game, they have the group of 5 in the mix to be a party crasher for the college football playoffs. Play fake. It's the tight end Colkin on the receiving end for a first down. Oklahoma, of course, with that huge game with Ohio State that we'll have for you on September the 17th, one of the biggest games of the year. Remember, when a running back or receiver or quarterback decides to slide down as Drew Lock did there, he's deemed defenseless. So be careful when going in to make the tackle. No gain, second down and 10.
Yeah, when they go feet first, as they try to get the play from the sideline and get lined up, that means you've basically given yourself up, and the ball will be spotted at the point at which the player begins his slide.
Out of the shotgun. Play fake to Winter. Slant pass is dropped right in the arms of number 6, Jamon Moore.
Yeah, Jamon Moore's got to catch that again. Remember the theme we talked about with respect to Moore out of Elkins High School. It's about, can you be consistent? He tried to cradle that ball instead of pointing it out with his hands and plucking it out of the air so that your body can be a backstop. He just missed that one. Hit him right in the numbers. Looking for consistency from number 6.
Trips to the top of your screen. 3rd and 10. Lock.
That's a penalty.
That's got to be.
Oh my God.
Colkin called it
That is,
anyway. Late flag. And it's another first down. That big fella with some moxie, the senior from Indian Rocks Beach. And Jared Harper, 22, was wrapped all over him.
Well, it's a mismatch. You got 22 and
Holding
80.
defense number 22. The penalties decline. Play results in a first down.
I tell you, this is an outstanding crew that we have working today.
Well, you can see here's the mismatch in the inside. You got a guy that's trying to play in and he's just going to hang on. He knows he's got a 42-pound disadvantage.
I think Matt Austin, who's the crew chief, was like, of course that's a flag. Pass is incomplete, intended for Jamon Moore. Maurice Fleming there in coverage.
Sometimes you just got to hang on for the ride. And that's the job of the quarterback, is to find the matchup. When you go 3 and 4 wide, one guy's got to win. You got to find the best matchup possible.
Do you get the feeling that maybe Drew Lock, as this game progresses, is becoming more comfortable?
I think he is, because he has a complementary set of tools around him to take some pressure.
Winter gets a couple of yards, maybe 3. You know, listen, this up-tempo thing is something that Josh Heupel brings. It's a new slate for him. What happened a year ago? They want to erase from his memory bank. 3rd and 6. He's really composed right now. I love what I'm seeing here. Black with the catch. And it's another first down. He has some poise right now, Locke.
Well, Fleming was on the coverage there, and you can see the outcut. And Locke is just basically finding the open man and reading the coverage, playing zone. Right now, they've got almost a dime package in. 5 defensive backs in the game, smaller bodies. You're asking one of those receivers to win. They have a sense going into the game which they matchup they think will win.
Slant pattern to Moore. It's tipped into the air, incomplete.
Another example of Moore with a chance to make a play. I've seen him make acrobatic plays like that, going all the way back to Elkins High School. Again, it's an acrobatic catch, but the ball hits you right in the hand. You got to make that, man. You got to catch that ball.
Led the team in both catches and yards. But the consistency, as you mentioned, is what they need. West Virginia takes a timeout. Missouri now with more total yards in this game, 231 to 229. But they're down 10, closing stages of the second. Take a look at the national ranks of defense versus offense a season ago. Barry Odom was running the defense before becoming head coach under Gary Pinkel. I mean, they get a little improvement on this side of the ball on offense. Look out. Marvin Sanders has come in for this particular play. They are outgaining West Virginia right now on the road. And then Sanders running to the wide side of the field. He stopped at the 38-yard line. And the outstanding Sam linebacker Justin Arndt, all 5'11", 215 of him, the original walk-on there to make the stop.
And Tim, to give you some context of that meant the score, and they finished 126.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sanders brings it down. Nothing doing that time. David Long, number 11, runs him out. Redshirt freshman from Cincinnati. A little curious to see that Sanders would come into the game on those last 2 plays after, really, we were just commenting what Drew Lock had been doing, how he seemed to be improving in that series.
Yeah, I think it can't be brought into question, but I would say in game 1, what you're trying to do is define as quickly as you can what works in what conditions. I remember in San Francisco, we used to always spend the first half setting up what we would do in the second half. So we had to know what everything was in terms of coverage and schemes that we were facing. And then we spent the second half exploiting it.
Fatoni goes with a pooch punt. Angling. Jennings trying to deke Missouri with the fair catch. It falls dead at the 11-yard line, a 26-yard boot. Back in the studio, the leader of our Merry Men, Rob Stone.
Coming up on the State Farm halftime, Houston's hopes of crashing the Power 5 party got an early dose of reality, and then they flipped the switch versus the Sooners. And we're going to head to Big Ten country. Not exactly the starts that Urban and Harbaugh had envisioned, but then they righted the ship. Tim Spencer, back to you guys.
Look forward to that. Well, you talk about a man for all seasons. That's our Rob Stone.
And Timmy, back to that theme of flipping the switch here in the script as Dana Holgorsen looks on. And this is a tale of 2 quarters. Missouri, just 66 total yards in the first quarter to 161 for West Virginia. They flipped that. They've got 169 versus 68 here in the second.
Kennedy McCoy with his first action is checked into the game. Howard brings it down and decides to slide at the 10-yard line. Donovan Newsome will be credited with the stop. A pedestrian first half really for Skyler in terms of passing the football. He has rushed it very well. And I don't think I think he's a little uncomfortable after that hit by Newsome. As he slid, he went down. It's as if he pinched nerve perhaps as he's falling down. He takes a hit right.
He got that knee, that right knee, nailed him right in his flak jacket there.
Sometimes that's not the appropriate thing to do. You're sort of taught to get down as a quarterback, but it's how you fall that sometimes matters.
Absolutely.
Really nothing Newsome could do. Certainly no malice intended there. He had momentum going towards that stop, and now Howard is spread eagle back at the 5-yard line.
Well, Donovan Newsome, the linebacker, again, he's heavy. He's not like a defensive back coming in there. He can run. He can chase, and when he came to the party there, man, he brought that right knee and just hit him right in the ribs.
Yeah. He did absorb a bit of a hit to the upper body in lieu of sliding, but I think you're right. It was the way he went down on his own that may have been, in fact, the problem.
Yeah, and look, there's so much we can nitpick, but Timmy, as a running back, when you see a quarterback seated with the ball in that near hand, that's problematic because he's trying to give himself up, but he has that ball in his near hand. He needs to have that ball seated between himself and the sideline so he can use that left hand to protect himself.
What's that knee in the ribs by 25 Newsoms? It may have been part of the issue there.
That's it.
As you touched on, I think you're right. Now, William Crest Jr., highly touted redshirt sophomore at Dunbar High School, is going to come in. He has had a package of plays in the past, has taken an equal number of snaps through much of this week. Will come in the game at quarterback. Justin Crawford remains in the backfield on 2nd down and 10. We'll see what having Crest in the game does to Holgerson's play selection here. Not surprisingly, it's Crawford. Head to the 14-yard line.
Well, I can't think of a more inventive coach for a new quarterback, William Crest Jr., to come in and play for. Holgerson, very creative out of that Hal Mummy tree. We've seen all kind of creative Utah pass type concerns utilized by him to find an advantage.
So Missouri gets a timeout. They should get some good field position provided they stop Crest and company next. Skyler Howard along the sidelines looks to be shaking it off. We'll get Bruce Feldman, one of the top reporters in college football, on the case and see what he can find out perhaps during the break at halftime. Missouri with 4 tackles for losses today against West Virginia. They were 2nd in the nation last year in tackles for losses, just under 9 per game. Crawford remains in the game with Crest at quarterback on 3rd and 7. Crest lost the football at the 7-yard line.
Tim, that's going to be a fumble. I mean,
yes, indeed.
He was winding up trying to deliver that ball. He never had a chance to go forward.
Marcel Frazier on top of it, number 16, the youngster from Portland, Oregon. What an amazing break here for Missouri.
Well, Crest got good, decent protection, although the pressure was there. The ball came out of his hand.
Never came forward. The ball never came forward. The arm did. The ball didn't.
Wow.
That is a fumble. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. They may want to take a look at it. Wouldn't be surprised if they did. But that ball belongs to Missouri. Huge swing in this game. Huge. It's all about timing, isn't it? Alex Ross checks in the backfield along with Locke. Locke runs into a Mountaineer onslaught. Wachuku and Walters collaborate. 97 and 27 on the tackle.
Wachuku really did a great job of playing with leverage, denying an opportunity for forward progress on that play, Tim.
2nd and goal. Ross is buried again. Right at the point of attack by Kaiser White.
Kaiser White played with great leverage as well. You talk about the integrity of this defense. They look more like Missouri right now in this defense effort.
There's Tony Gibson. He is a player's coach. They love him. Get down and dirty. He's that kind of defensive coordinator.
They got a little blitz on it.
They go post corner. Incomplete. Just ran out of terrain. Justin Smith, the wide receiver, at 6'7", 200. They were going with the highest man gets it, and it's incomplete.
And Smith had soft coverage waiting in the back of the end zone. He tried to high point it. A good effort by him. It was just well defense pass.
Yeah, Rasul Douglas, 13, the nickel backer, was there. Did a nice job in coverage. So, field goal time for Tucker McCann. He'll try his second one of the day. 24 yards. Jake Hurl with the hold. He missed it. Pulled it left.
A youth and inexperience. Great, highly talented, particularly out of high school, Timmy. The pressure of the big stage.
I like that, though. I love what I'm seeing right there. That's a teachable moment, coachable moment. and Barry Odom is giving you a clinic on it.
Absolutely. He was considered the #1 kicker in the class of 2016 by a lot of folks out there who decide those things.
Watch the snap and the hold here.
Well, the hold in the snap was fine. He just pulled it, Timmy.
He did. Knew it right away. Look at Gibson. Gibby is pretty pumped up. Chris Chuganov is now coming at quarterback. As Crest had turned it over, they give the other youngster an opportunity. And Russell Shell gets it out to the 25. And again, the health and well-being of Skyler Howard is going to be the headline during halftime. And we'll do what we can to find out anything possible on his status with our Bruce Feldman downstairs.
They'll need a little perestroika if they have to go through another quarterback here.
2nd down and 3 coming up. The State Farm halftime show with Rob Stone, Coach Wannstedt. Looking forward to hearing from those guys. Looking long, and it is intercepted. That is Sherrills that comes down with it.
Sherrills just back there playing center field, and again, you're down to your 3rd quarterback. He's trying to make a play. Instead, he ends up making a mistake and giving the opposition a chance to come right back. Looking at it, right down the middle of the field, right into the waiting hands of a safety with no responsibility.
Robert Smith has joined us in our studio as well with Dave Wannstedt and Rob Stone. Don't forget tonight, Joe Davis, Brady Quinn will be on hand for that matchup between Arizona and BYU. Speaking of Rich Rodriguez, his Wildcats 2 years removed from a Pac-12 South title. As you see Drew Lock get it up to the 43-yard line. And the whistle stopping play. Timeout taken by Missouri. I think give one opportunity maybe to get the ball into the air. Locke certainly has a gun for an arm. You'd think he could get it down there close to the end zone for a Hail Mary opportunity.
Why not? It has been a tale of 2 quarters, Tim. And again, the way things have gone, there's nothing to suggest that Missouri can't get the ball down in the end zone with just 2 seconds left on the clock. I think it was a great call.
You know, we touched on it a little earlier, what a big day it is, not only here, but so many other places. The magnificence of college football returning. And I can't recall in my 30-plus years at the network level ever having seen a first week quite like this one.
Well, I was in Arlington just last night calling an NFL game, and I'll tell you, the Alabama Crimson Tide folks were on tiptoes of anticipation waiting for that big one. And, of course, with what's going on in Oklahoma and the pending tectonic shifts and conference realignment.
Let me tell you something. I think the biggest of the intersectional games might be UCLA.
No question.
At College Station to take on Texas A&M. UCLA is supposed to win a division, okay? And Texas A&M is a middle tier at best SEC team. We'll see how Josh Rosen does too. So a lot of great games, and of course that Houston game against Oklahoma is a very big one too, ongoing now. Locke loading up and sending it into the end zone. Incomplete. And we've come to the intermission. Very entertaining, but opportunities missed by Missouri after the turnover by Crest. A missed field goal leaves West Virginia up by 10. Now let's get you back to Los Angeles and the busiest man at Fox Sports, Rob Stone. Fox Sports 1 College Football is brought to you by Geico. At halftime, the Mountaineers of West Virginia with a 10-point lead. We welcome you back Alongside Spencer Tillman, Tim Brando, and I love what Coach Wanstead said as an old defensive coach. I didn't like the play call when Kress came in, but a bizarre set of circumstances with the injury to Howard. We're told he will give it a go here in the second half. But your thoughts in general about the way the game has played out as Missouri has gotten their feet on the ground a little bit?
Well, it was a tale of two quarters. And again, I think the turnovers are the key there, but it was necessitated by injuries and having to replace a quarterback. And so now we're in a situation where 9 total yards separate them between the two teams. It started with this. Skylar Howard just takes a shot there to the pads. That was Donovan Newsom. Did a great job of closing, but obviously that shot to the rib brought Howard down. And then so Howard has to exit. And then as a result of that, in comes Williams Kress, and he never got a chance to seek the ball properly. The ball comes out. Minimal damage, and this one of the things about West Virginia, they did a great job last year of minimizing points off turnovers, but it did net 3, and so here we have a 13-3 game here because of the turnovers, Tim.
You see the job that West Virginia has done defensively, but also the miscues, the penalty yards really aided West Virginia in a couple of their field goal scoring drives. As we open the second half, Gibson and Jennings back deep, and it's Sheldon Gibson. He had one quality return out to near midfield moments ago. He gets it out to the 30-yard line, and Bruce Feldman's got the latest on Skylar Howard's plight.
Yeah, Tim, I just talked to Dana Holgerson. He said he has a little rib cartilage deal. He's going to be fine. He was pretty pleased with the offense. He goes, but we got to finish drives. He was also really pleased with this freshman offensive tackle, Colton McKivitz, who's come in because of Yadni Kajust and has handled Charles Harris, that great player, on the other side of the ball. You know, what I got from Barry Odom before the start of the half, he said, Locke's played really well. He's going to keep rotating the quarterbacks. We just got to be focused.
Russell Shell pops it to open the half, and he gets it out to midfield.
Timmy, that's going to be the formula the rest of the way out. Again, because a little cartilage deal for a quarterback is a big deal. Coaches don't necessarily want you to telegraph their situation at the position, but it is so tough, given the nature of this offense, to have a quarterback with rib injury.
It was a 20-yard gain by Shell to open the second half. He'll turn it again, get 5 more in the arms of Charles Harris. We touched on the job, really, that Colton McKivitz has done. The redshirt freshman, number 53, is working up against Charles Harris. That is a lot to ask for the young man from Jacobsburg, Ohio. The swing on the safety valve, it's Shell again. Russell sets sail inside the 20. 34 yards the pickup. Arian Penton with the saving tackle.
Penton did a nice job of limiting the damage, but again, the patience here to wait till Shell gets out of the backfield. Again, 2 defenders running to one another, and again, but before the last safety there, he hits his head on the goalpost, Timmy, but it's going to come back because of the flag.
Yep.
10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. Still results in a first down.
Wide receiver Gary Jennings was guilty of holding there, number 12. And that will bring him back.
And the disappointing thing about a call like that is it's so far away from the impact of the play, had very little to do with the outcome of the run.
Michael Ferns staying in the game at fullback. Elijah Wellman and he shuttle in and out at that fullback position. Justin Crawford has checked in. He's behind Skylar Howard. Over the middle and incomplete. Airmailed that one just a bit. Shelton Gibson, the intended receiver.
Gibson had 3 defenders around him, and Howard just had a little bit too much heat on it. It doesn't appear that it's affected his throwing motion or the strength of it anyway. But it's kind of tough to have that touch when you don't feel anything.
Yeah.
if you know what I mean.
Second down and 10. Crawford remains in the game. Trips to the bottom of your screen. Pass is caught. That is Schultz again. DeKeel down to the
10. Nice pitch and catch there, Schultz. Possession receiver, getting his team closer to score.
24 yards, first and goal from the 10. Yeah. Harris anticipating as you see Crawford with a little hop skip jump down to the 2.
They didn't call it.
No, they didn't. That was I mean, that was noticeable off the edge that Missouri was offsides. Got away with it. Second and goal.
This is an impressive opening drive to begin this second half, again, by West Virginia. Obviously did a great job of understanding what took place in the first half, saw some weaknesses, made some great adjustments, got the ball to their backs to open up the passing game.
Here's the tough part. They go with a straight I formation with Crawford dotting the I behind Elijah.
He can go over the top.
Wellman. Yes, he can. They go with the fade for Shorts. Incomplete. Isolated to the wide side of the field against Penton, and it's third and goal.
Love the thinking down here again when you've got Justin Crawford, who's shown you some athleticism.
Yeah, and
single receiver outside. You've got two options here.
Well, and Wellman as a big fullback can really block. Let's see what they do here. Yeah, there it is. Touchdown. Well, that was an in-your-face drive to open this half.
It really was, and again, you saw that it's running to daylight. The fullback is going to head this direction. Crawford winds up going the opposite direction. That's really a man-on-man, hat-on-hat. Somebody's got to win one, and number 25 has got to make at least one guy miss, and he gets in for the score.
Molina will tack out the extra point. 8 rushes for 57 yards for Justin Crawford. Boy, are they going to be diverse in their backfield if they stay healthy with Kennedy McCoy, Crawford, and Russell Shell. 20-3, Mountaineers with the lead. Very early second half in Morgantown. We'll get you out for a delight. Get your calisthenics in because we'll have BYU and Arizona.
Watch that musket.
Got to stay in shape if you're going to be a mountain man. Alex Ross, Demaria Crockett back deep as Molina prepares to kick it away. Time for Missouri to answer. There were some significant signs of improvement with Drew Lock as the game pressed on in the second quarter. See if it carries over into the second half. Short kick taken by Crockett. Good field position for Mizzou to work with. Out to the 32-yard line, a 21-yard return. And let's get more on what wrinkles we may see from Barry Odom in the third quarter from Bruce Feldman.
Yeah, Tim, to follow up on the Baylor wrinkle part, the connection is Joe John Finley. He was a former Baylor staffer who's now on the Mizzou staff. And by the way, when I talked to Barry Odom a couple of minutes ago, he said, you know what, it's worked out a little bit, but we got a few things coming in the second half. Hopefully we're going to get them on them.
I think the more we see of Drew Lock, the better. The times that they went to Xanders, I thought they lost a little bit, Spencer. There's a nice spin move by Ross, especially on that drive where they got it inside the 35-yard line with a couple of good passes. And then Xanders, really, West Virginia knew he was simply going to run the football.
Pace and tempo will work, Tim, but they're going to have to get their run game going. I just think number 5 is going to have a lot to do with that.
Yeah, here he is, right on cue. The former Sooner gets it out to the 45-yard line. Justin Arndt makes the stop. He was pretty much a special team specialty guy for Bob Stoops with the incredible tandem of backs that Oklahoma had. On a fly pattern, that pass is underthrown. Emmanuel Hall, the intended receiver. Good side adjustment by Rasul Douglas, the nickelbacker, defensively. Perrine and Mixon are the two running backs we were talking about.
First of all, you got man coverage mainly because of the success that Missouri's had on those couple of running plays there. You know, high point the ball, thrown on that back shoulder, just a great defensive play. Came up short to save the completion.
Ross takes the swing pass, shy of the 49-yard line. Kaiser White, number 8, made the stop. Big third down coming up here for Mizzou.
Yards were tough to come by, and playing time as well when Ross was at Oklahoma behind Samaje Perine and Joe Mixon. But here he's got a chance to be a feature back in this system. Nice.
Slant pass is overthrown and nearly picked off. Kaiser White had a beat on it, could not reel it in. Johnson, the intended receiver.
Again, another example of a laser shot there. That's a big-time quarterback throw, but he just doesn't put it on the mark. You can see, look at the laser in this ball. I mean, that's a nice thrown ball just off the mark. Misses his target.
Is that old saying, you can spin it? That guy can spin it. just not as accurate with that one as he would have liked. Josh Heupel always teaching along that sideline.
Had a coach used to always tell us, boy, you got a big gun, you just got no bullets. You got to pay it off, man.
Gary Jennings back deep, a tough snap, but Fatoni handles it and then angles the punt towards the sideline. This one's going to be relatively short as it goes out of bounds. Great field position coming back after the poor punt. Bad snap. That West Virginia running game has been outstanding, whether it's Shell or Crawford. After only a 20-yard punt, they'll have a good look. Here at Morgantown, West Virginia with an opening drive for touchdown to start the second half, leading by 17. Quality field position after a poor punt, really brought on by a bad snap from center. And here's Skylar Howard handing to Russell Shell again. And he is running with a vengeance. Yards after contact. Strong against this defense that prides itself on stopping the run. Charles Harris, 91 with a stop, and Shell is on the deck.
Yeah, we got a player down, but again, the point of Charles Harris being relatively quiet, Shell's knee or actually ankles being looked at, or maybe he's got some cramps. They're trying to bend it back and see if they can work it out. But number 91 has been awful quiet today.
Yeah, McKivitz, you got to give 53 a lot of credit since coming into the game for the injured Yadni Kajust.
Yeah, the redshirt freshman has acquitted himself and done exceptionally well.
He has.
They've moved Harris around, but for the majority of this third quarter, to be sure, and then much of the second half, he's been over there on that side against him. So he's done a great job of neutralizing one of the elite players in the national, in this college football.
You think about this defense now with Jackie Shipp as the D-line coach. Coming over from Arizona State. They were all about pressure there. Had a great career in the NFL in Miami. A guy that you know very well. But taking over for Craig Kuligowski, who went, ironically, to the Miami Hurricanes program under Mark Richt. As a defensive line coach, he brought in some incredible talent that has become drafted talent in the National Football League. This is one of those, you look at it and you go, wow, I would have never thought in the last NFL drafts, the last 8 of them, that many would have been drafted out of Missouri. And think about this. In the last 10 recruiting classes, they have never been ranked higher than 22nd.
That really is amazing. But again, as we opened the show, we talked about the legacy and the tradition of defense, and Barry Odom's a part of that legacy.
Yeah.
Tim, this goes back 25, 30 years. I remember Tracy Mack was a linebacker they had, knocked me out on national television. I woke up half naked in a CAT scan machine in Boulder.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know who was it that hit me, man.
I remember you telling me that story before. Crawford remains in the game. They go underneath, and it's dropped. And it's Durant. That's the kind of pass that last year they had dropped quite often, either by Durant or by Gibson. You know, the easy sort of intermediate pass that's got to be caught.
Well, it was on his back hip. And again, when you don't put it on the point, it's tough to really go back and grab that.
You're right.
Really tough.
You got to give the receiver a little bit of credit on that one. That was a poor pass by Skylar Howard. He'd love to have that one back. 3rd and 1. Crawford stopped initially, but forward progress may give him the first down. In this part of the world, you know what they call that one, huh? That's a you want to run.
You got to want that.
You got to want to run
Ricky
it
Hadley,
like that.
A.J. Logan and company, Jordan Harold really pushed him back, but initially that's about want to, knowing where those yards are. He does. It's just desire, Timmy.
That was thrown low. Shorts does make the catch at the 43. I wonder now as Howard picks himself up if maybe his accuracy is being affected a little bit by that rib injury.
Well, as long as his productivity is not being compromised, he's going to be all right. He was in an elite class of 5 other players that produced 3,000 yards passing and 500 rushing.
Face says it all, though, Spencer. He's hurting.
Yeah, he is. Of course he is.
He's hurting.
He's not coming out, though.
From the 42 of Missouri, first down. Crawford wrapped up. How about the quickness defensively that time? from Terry Beckner, number 79. He was a freshman All-America in 2015. Now not even starting on the depth chart. He's running number 2 at that tackle position.
Now Harris is out of the game now in this play. Let's see if they try to exploit on that left side.
2nd and 8.
You need to get into a play and run it to the left side of that field by the numbers. That's where the opportunity is.
Howard unloads it. It is intercepted inside the 5-yard line by Penton. That one floated on him. He was trying to get it out. Jovan Durant. It's as good as a punt when you think about it, but as I watch Howard, just his body language is not good, and not good at all.
Well, the 50-50 ball is in vogue, Tim, and Penton made a beat on it and claimed it as his own.
Missouri's got it when we come back, trailing by 17. Nice work by the senior from St. Louis, Arian Penton, on that pick. One of the really nice stops in intercollegiate athletics, Morgantown, West Virginia. Tim Brando, Spencer Tillman, Bruce Feldman here on FS1. College football is underway. Hope you enjoyed that K-State Stanford game last night in Palo Alto. Alex Ross is stopped behind the line of scrimmage back at the 3. Kazir White again with the stop.
Kazir White screaming off that outside. Seeing he has no responsibility for containment. Makes a great play behind the line of scrimmage.
West Virginia sensing the kill here with this poor field position. And a young quarterback that's trying to find himself and some playmakers in this offense. On the curl, it's Mason, Demetrius Mason with a marker down. Back inside the 5-yard line. And he sprints ahead to the 24. We'll check the marker.
Saul Douglas needing to make a sure tackle there, but slipped it and allowed the receiver to get down the field for some additional yards pending the flag.
Matt Austin, our referee, mentioned that this is an SEC officiating crew. Our replay official, Jeff Hansen from the Big 12.
Soft coverage, Tim, again, needs to squat on this ball and make a play. I'm not quite sure what that is. I mean, I really can, because it's soft coverage. I mean, it's not like he was pressing and maybe disrupted him off the ball. But
yeah, I'm with you. And it looks like we're getting. I think Matt Austin is wondering about it too now as he listens to this explanation. Yeah. Maybe they were thinking about where his knee went down, if it went down, and it didn't. We'll see. Matt Austin going to work. Will tell us all about it here.
We have 2 fouls on the play. Ineligible receiver downfield, number 5 in the offense. That penalty marked off half the distance to the goal. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 13 of the defense. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced. Automatic first down.
Well, Rasul Douglas is nailed, the nickelbacker, with that penalty.
And Alex Ross got it started. But here again is the late hit. He's got the right foot out and then turned the shoulder. Man, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I think he knew where he was, though. I think Douglas knew where he was. I like the call. Ross remains in the backfield and gets it out to the 19-yard line. He was trailing the play, Spencer, and that's why I say I like the call.
And I don't
he had to know where
that.
he was on the boundary.
I would just say this, Tim. Anytime a player turns his shoulder and his head away from it, it gives you the sense that he's saying, I'm not trying to take you out. And he's basically conceding right there.
2nd and 7. Ross on the stretch play cuts it back up to the 24-yard line. Darian Howard, 49, making the stop for West Virginia. You know, you think about Locke's first quarter, he only had 11 passing yards, but then threw for 141 in the second. It's 3rd down and 3. And he has a receiver slip. Jason Reese could not keep his footing, and that will lead to a punt formation, unfortunately, for Missouri. The pass was there. It was safe. It was open, but he fell down.
Yeah, Jason's 6'5", 250 pounds, and sometimes if the ball's not on the mark, this new field turf here was difficult for him to navigate. When he's trying to go back for a ball that's thrown behind him, you've got to plant on your left foot or inside foot to go back to your right, and he crossed over and used his right foot to attempt to go back the opposite direction.
Corey Fatoni, who got a poor snap from center a moment ago on the deep snap, will boot it away this time. His last one measured only 20 yards. This one, a thing of beauty. High, tight spiral coming down to Gary Jennings. Great coverage by Mizzou. 46-yard boot. Brandon Lee was down there to make the stop. Oh, the color, the pageantry, the pomp and circumstance. Saturdays of the fall are here. Almost heaven, West Virginia. West Virginia leads at 20-3, 7:48 remaining in the third quarter. We got word, Spencer, from Bruce Feldman during the timeout that Russell Shell was, in fact, having problems with some cramps. That's all, so we should be able to see him. And Skyler Howard, officially they're saying he's got bruised ribs. He does have a little extra padding in the midsection as we open play here in the third. One good drive leading to a touchdown. And not terribly impressive the last time out as Justin Crawford takes it to about the 33, maybe the 34-yard line. That's a nice pickup on first down.
That was a nice piece of phone booth running right there by Crawford, doing a great job of reading where the lane was. It was tight. How about the little trail technique they got up top?
2nd and 5. There's Wellman. And the old Mountaineer from Huntington, West Virginia. He is all about West Virginia football. He loves it.
Little lag draw action. Just give it to the big guy. Let's see if he can find some yardage up in the middle. He does. Wellman. Well done.
Blue-collar guy. Joe Wickline is commenting on how much the players on the team really love that kid. Crossing pattern beautifully down to Karan White. It's the passes inside the hashes, the seam routes that Howard seems to really love to throw.
Brother of West Virginia All-American and Bears #1 rounder Kevin White, showing you he's flashing, able to break some zone and find some opportunity.
1st and 10. Wide receiver screen is read beautifully. Shelton Gibson is stopped in his tracks by Penton.
Here's an opportunity to see Howard use his eyes from left to right and then to lead the catch. Outstanding job by White tracking that ball and bringing it in and showing some emotion to get this West Virginia Mountaineer offense going.
Skyler calls White his sleeper receiver. He's got little symbols and names for all of his guys. There's Wellman again. And the big fullback. Getting all the grunt work done. Gets it down near the 25-yard line. Spencer Williams, the stop, the right defensive end. Look at the percentage of running the football from year to year under Holgorsen.
That's great coaching right there. Last year as a team, a big picture thought, they became a defensive-oriented team. It's all about responding to what the context is. That's what quality coaching will do. It's not trying to put a player whose skill set may not fit necessarily with what your scheme. You don't play the game as a coach.
Quick curl to Karan White again, ahead for a first down at the 18-yard line.
Timmy, to pick up on that continued theme, a coach's main job is to facilitate the success of his players. You train up, you coach them up in the way that they should go. They have natural gifts and talents. Your job is to find a way to exploit, and very few do as well a job as Dana Holgorsen does. Very creative coach offensively.
Walks to the beat of his own drum.
Yes,
He's really a breath of fresh air to deal with. He is. From the 18.
Nice feet.
Wellman. Well, he's been featured in this series, hasn't he? Got those fresh legs working here in the third quarter. Inside the 15 to the 14, Michael Shear made the stop.
I often think of a back that got that kind of nifty feet as big as Wellman is. He showed you he could move a little bit.
Quick out to Shelton Gibson. He may have a first down. To the 8-yard line, he does.
And that wham screen really got Shelton out there. Again, the team leader in receiving yards last year, averaging 24 yards a grab. You don't need that much down here, but they like the ball in his hands after he gets it.
And look out, Crawford has now come into the game and lined up in a wide receiver spot. Now he's coming back as they decide to huddle up. Well, that's the thing about Justin Crawford. They can bring him in simultaneously with Russell Shell, use him as a wide receiver too.
Well, they've shown the formation, and now let's see if Missouri responds to it. They're going to a different look now.
Yeah, he's staying in the backfield now. First and goal. Missouri so quick, it's hard to run wide against them. Anthony Sherrill's another outstanding defensive play.
That was Jason Reese and company. And
if they ever get their offense to match their defense, Missouri will be heard from. Think about this with them as you see the run-pass selection process today for this Holgorsen run Mountaineer team. Crawford remains in the game in the backfield. Both fullbacks in. There he goes. Spun down inside the 5 at the 4 by Thomas Wilson.
Thomas Wilson had everything he could to hold on to that ball. It's a nice little ISO play again. Nothing fancy about this, just stick it in pocket and watch Justin Crawford try to make a play. And the body control that he has after contact is outstanding.
Nothing doing this time. Crawford wrapped up by Charles Harris. He just engulfed him there, didn't he? That was also big number 97, Josh Augusta. Kid that at one point was tipping the scales at about 388. They say he's got unbelievable feet. The scouts are just drooling over him, but they need to get him under 355 or so pounds.
He's at 355 right now at 6'4", but again, why they like him is he can play a zero technique, that is control two gaps by being the center, over the center, and being one guy to take up two responsibilities.
Molina gets it through from the right hash. Missouri's defense again stiffens inside the red zone, but the lead is up to 20. 3 and change remaining here in the third quarter. 23-3 our score. West Virginia with the lead. We'll see if Missouri can get something going offensively in the second half.
Tim, it's almost like they're alternating quarters. This quarter, Missouri with 21 yards, and West Virginia with 176. So again, they're alternating, dominating their respective quarters.
And one of the real key moments in this game, Howard going down, Creston turning it over, Missouri getting nothing out of that. I mean, that was an opportunity at the very least for 3, missed the field goal, hooked it, had momentum with them at that time, and they've been shut down since. Really, Missouri had outgained them until the last drive for the bulk of this game, but they just were not able to take advantage of the turnovers.
This has been a Down Jones kind of
it has.
Up and down.
Ross will stay in the end zone. They'll bring it out. Let's get a game break in Los Angeles from Mike Hill.
Guys, Houston making a statement against Oklahoma Sooners. Austin Seibert attempting the 53-yard field goal. It's short. Brandon Wilson catches it 9.5 yards deep, and he's about to make magic. Officially, it's a 100-yard kick 6. Houston, we have no problems. Greg Ward Jr. just added a touchdown throw. It's 33-17 late in the third quarter. Back to you guys.
Boy, Doctor, how do you do? Doctor. My. Bringing back memories of the kick 6 in the Iron Bowl there, albeit not at the end of the game.
Harkening back to the days of Andre Ware and company, man.
Lock. Looking long, and he's got a man, but underthrows it. Incomplete. Mason was the intended receiver. The ball was underthrown. Rasul Douglas had a chance at the interception.
Yeah, single coverage outside. That ball had a little string on the end of it. It didn't quite make its destination. Just didn't have enough on it. The receiver didn't have a chance to make that play.
Mason actually became a defender there. Did a nice job. On second down, Ish Witter. He got popped, didn't he? Right at the 29-yard line. That was a hard hit that he absorbed.
Jeremy Tyler came up and popped him pretty good, man.
Sure did.
Let him know who's in charge here. That safety position, 5'11", 207-pound senior, filling with authority.
They had to replace Nick Kwiatkowski, who was their leader defensively, and they believe in Tyler and Rashid Benton that they've found some verbal leaders on that defense as Demetrius Mason grabs that one.
Yeah, Mason made that completion out of that bunch formation that Bruce was talking about earlier. They typically run out of that, but the opportunity to get picks out of it made that possible.
On the sidelines again, this one for Moore, but he's run out of territory. And Antonio Crawford was right there with him.
Crawford doing a great job of squeezing, taking all the real estate away from the receiver on that play. Great defense. Ball was placed on that outside shoulder where it needed to be to make that kind of a play, but great defensive play.
2nd and 10. Here's Schwitter again. And the junior from Tampa stopped at the 39-yard line. You know, we were talking with Tony Gibson about getting ready for this Missouri team, not knowing really what to expect from add-ons like Ross and Chris Black, the graduate transfers. Going up against the team that he has to defend during practice certainly helps their defense. That pass should have been caught, almost got picked. Demetrius Mason had it hit him right in the middle of the numeral, and it popped out and very easily could have been picked.
Well, first of all, Ish Witter did a great job with protection, and again, this ball should have been caught. I mean, you didn't get any better than that. Nice strike and delivery. The ball was on a rope, but you got to make that play, Tim. I mean, look at this.
Yeah. Well, you can see, think about it. This is a Missouri team that last year held 5 of its opponents to 10 or fewer points in 7 games, and they lost 5 of them. Now think about that. They lost 5 of the games that they held their opponents to 10 or fewer points in. So they got to find playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. We have a timeout. Closing moments here of the 3rd quarter. Missouri takes it. 1:49 remaining. West Virginia leads 23-3.
Timmy, when Missouri gets Nate Brown back, he's out until October. He had a high ankle sprain. They could use him on the offensive side of the ball to pay off some of these catches.
Jennings from his 12. Just shy of the 20. Before being knocked down by Eric Biesel, number 38. Well, tonight, Taysom Hill leads BYU against the Arizona Wildcats. Their kickoff is coming up at 10:30 Eastern Time. Joe Davis, Brady Quinn, both with fresh children on the earth. We should congratulate both young Joe and young Brady, his wife Alicia. New parents, those two. So I'm assuming that they go on the road to catch up on sleep.
Yep. Both those guys are young. Their breath still smells like Similac. You guys call me. I got 4 girls if you need some help with that.
Yes, our world is pink, lavender, dusty rose, and mauve.
Yes, sir.
Skylar Howard on the check down, goes underneath, incomplete for Karan White.
Howard pass intended for Karan White. 2nd and 10.
You know, it is the first game, and I get the sense, Spencer, that certainly for Missouri, with so many new faces and trying to get used to one another on the offensive side of the ball, but even here with West Virginia, the same holds true. And Howard's been hurt. He's not 100% right now. Crawford gets it out to the 25-yard line. But
Tim, don't you get the sense that it's almost like the opposite of what you would think would be the case? The jitters should come early on. They were almost flawless. It's like the script has been flipped
from quarter to quarter.
Yeah.
Crawford up to the 29-yard line on 3rd and 5. So at this stage, if you're Dana Holgorsen, my guess is if you can just stay away from mistakes, you feel pretty good about things. You're now going with the flow of the game. Yeah. Right?
And the thing about it, and Dana talked about this yesterday, he said, the thing is I'm trying to get to a point where I respond to what the context of the game is, find out what the identity of our ball club is, and it's tough to do that when you're making errors. You're almost tempted to go back to basics as a coach, and that's what's problematic.
Jonathan Johnson goes back deep. Billy Kenny will punt it away for West Virginia. High boot. Fair catch called at the 28-yard line. Well, we mentioned Barry Odom. Young man, he's the 32nd head coach in program history. Will turn 40 on November the 26th. He was an outstanding player. Larry Smith was his coach back in the day. He was a tough customer and was actually a freshman when DeMonte Ross was about to leave, who he is now hired as his defensive coordinator. But it was the job that he did at Memphis with Justin Fuente, who's now the new head coach at Virginia Tech, that I think put him in a position to maybe get this job, this opportunity. Even after what had happened with Gary Pinkel, his health concerns, and the tumultuous issues off the field. Pass is incomplete. Looked to be a mix-up between Moore and the quarterback, Drew Lock.
I think it's both those things you talked about, Tim. And again, remember now, Gary Pinkel is the winningest coach in 2 institutions, Toledo and Missouri. Coach Odom didn't change a whole lot. He learned a great deal from Gary Pinkel, and he credits him as being responsible for his success today.
Emmanuel Hall reels it in, a negligible gain. Not much there against the boundary. But I tell you what, Barry Odom is the perfect fit for this position, particularly given the times. And this is a program that, as we said before, has done a lot more than maybe you think, or even they understand in Columbia, in making the adjustment to the Southeastern Conference. We played 3 Mountaineers and Tigers on Fox Sports 1. We'll be back. 23-3 our scores. We open the 4th quarter with Bruce Feldman on the sideline, Spencer Tillman upstairs with yours truly, Tim Brando. Listen, West Virginia's a team that had the pressure on it. They are expected to contend. They're hoping for double-digit wins this year. But I get the feeling now they're just trying to survive and advance.
And it's because of the injury situations at quarterback. And listen, offense is a creative process. Defense is a destructive process. It always takes longer to create something than it does to destroy it. And I think both teams are experiencing a little bit of those travails right now, Timmy. So it's been a really weird game to watch all of the excellent execution we saw in the first half, and particularly the first quarter, and then kind of devolve into the second half and into the third quarter, and now the fourth.
Marvin Zanders checks back in at quarterback. As Bruce Feldman mentioned, they have a solid package in there for him that they will utilize. They had a little chicanery involved, but a flag. Oh, the little yellow hanky will stop all of that.
You hate to waste a great play like that, too. And once you show it, it's out there. The element of surprise is lost, and Barry Odom knows it.
The previous play is under further review.
By that I mean, I gather the lock run that got them out into the position that they had. Barry Odom is like, huh? Really? I think the spot is what they're looking at that would have necessitated, obviously, the first down. It was an excellent run by Locke. I think they had it where it really should have been.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an issue where he was sliding and giving himself up. I mean, that would be a point of contention.
Where he came down is where they marked the ball.
That's right. Now, his knee did come down before where his torso did, but maybe that's it. But they'll powwow and try to sort it all out, but I thought they got the spot correct.
I did too. I did too. And there are, listen, with respect to stoppages of play and why they review, and this year, of course, as you know, with targeting, no longer do they have to see it first. Here's the call.
Ruling of a first down stands. First down.
Wanted to make sure that they got it right. But the circumstances surrounding targeting now have changed to some extent in that they can actually call for it in the booth.
Even though it wasn't called on the field.
Exactly,
yes. That's good stuff for the game because it shows that we're cognizant about the head injuries and status.
Zanders remains in the game on first down. You stop behind the line of scrimmage there. But you're right, Spencer, when they decided, and that's just a tough break for Missouri. I mean, they were in a position to run a play that they had in their hip pocket. A reverse pass is what they had in mind, and it was taken away by the replay officials wanting to take a look at things. Here's Zanders again. Straight run from an athletic quarterback. He's about 2 yards shy of a first down at the 48-yard line. Al-Rashid Benton made the stop, the young man from Newark, New Jersey.
Love the play selection and love the pace and tempo. They had a trips the opposite direction. Now they go and run the exact play the opposite direction.
And it's breaking open for him to the 45-yard line. And Rashid Benton again, Al-Rashid Benton with the stop.
And but for Benton being there, he hits his head on the goalpost because they're seeing all the Missouri Tigers a weakness in this scheme to defend their mobile quarterback.
Wide receiver screen with a little bit of help. Pass is caught by Keon DeLosa, sophomore from Round Rock, Texas.
Now they're platooning, trying to get fresh bodies in there. When you go pace and tempo, you got to make sure everybody's fresh, ready to go, trying to get a play in.
And Drew Lock back on the field. Alex Ross, the setback. On second down, it's Ross. Just inside the 40-yard line. So 4 yards shy of a first down. Justin Arndt making the tackle.
Ross trying to craft out an identity for himself as an every down back. He's a former second-team All-American as a kickoff returner.
He's going to be about a yard and a half, maybe 2 yards shy. As Christian Brown makes the stop, it's got to be 4-down territory now.
Yep.
Down 20 with just under 13 minutes left. They'll call it 4th and a long one.
This is where you craft out the identity of your team right here. Do they run heavy?
Looks that way. Boy, how heavy is that?
Yeah, that's nice.
Big number 97 totes the rock. Josh Augusta comes in to play the refrigerator. They went refrigerator Perry, or shall I say the old Booger McFarland at LSU back in the day.
You talking about this is a full house backfield right here, fellas. 3 guys, give it to the big guy, let him dive forward, let him roll forward for a couple of yards. It's outstanding.
I'll never forget watching the first time refrigerator did that for Ditka back in the day, and then Jerry DiNardo called one of those plays for Booger. He's still talking about it.
Nice start.
That was again a beautiful pass, and the marker comes down. Moore was the intended receiver. Fleming will be guilty of the interference.
I thought Fleming did a nice job of defending. We'll see and dissect it and see if it was interference, but you can see press coverage. I like the nice hand. Does he get his eyes back to defend? A lot of times.
Defense number 24.
He didn't play the ball.
Automatic first down.
If he turns his head, I don't think he gets the flag.
Yeah, and again, that's the only way you can make the legitimate argument. I hear people talk about turning around, but why are you needing to turn around? You have every right to that ball as a defender, and that influences the person who's going to call that play. So again, the fact that you're not able to locate it and turn around is probably the reason why you draw the laundry.
Ish Ritter comes back into the game, number 21 in white, and he'll tote it. Getting a pretty good push from the left side of that line. Pendleton, Howell and company. Listen, this is a very young offensive front. They only had 3 starts in their offensive line, and they all came from one man. Alec Ablang, number 57, and he's played 3 different positions as a starter. And Winter is stopped in his tracks again. This is clearly an area of concern short-term for Missouri, their offensive front.
Well, Nate Howard make Ish pay for this, man. He just leveled him and stopped him about a yard and a half short of the line of scrimmage. Swarming defense for that Mountaineer front.
3rd and 6. Go with a bunch formation to the top of your screen. Pressure from the backside. It's Justin Arndt, and you aren't either.
All 5'10", 215 pounds of him. There's a reason why they never take him off the field. Arndt's coming. He's screaming from this position on the backside. Unaccounted for. Boy, he hit him like he stole something on that play. That's an outstanding job by Arndt. Unaccounted for on the edge to make an outstanding play on lock.
Tony Gibson said, man, he's an original walk-on. I can't get him off the field. We don't have a player that can block him. 5'11", 215, and that's being generous. Whoa! That was a laser kick. It's no good. Never got it up in the air. It was blocked at the line of scrimmage, it appeared. It was deflected.
All made possible by Justin Arndt. Now he's got a scholarship, man. It's Bula Bula big time, Timmy.
Yet another big stop for West Virginia defensively. Justin Arndt starts it, and then McCann sees it blocked away.
But I like Christian McCaffrey. He had a big return last night, brought back because of a penalty. He should have won the Heisman last year, in my opinion.
Pass is over the middle, caught by Da'Keil Shorts. I'm glad you mentioned that because I wanted to make the point that last year that title game was lost. The Pac-12 title game was absolutely lost on simultaneously with the ACC championship, which had much more bearing nationally. Gibson's pass is caught. He gets it out to the 47-yard line. Spun down that time by Terez Hall, number 24. Shorts has 8 catches, 130 yards today. Without a doubt, the go-to guy. Actually, that was Gibson with 5 catches for 51 yards. And there's another one popping free for Justin Crawford inside the 40 to the 38-yard line of Missouri.
Well, this guy's a joy to watch in junior college. Average 6.5 yards a carry. Just give it to him twice. He's going to get you first down. 16 touchdowns during that stretch. He can catch the ball extremely well. The thing that really makes him look exciting and you want to build around him, he's got so much body control. Tough catches, he can make them. He can make 1 or 2 guys miss in space. Outstanding athlete.
Crawford remains in the backfield. That's Gibson on the wide receiver screen inside the 35 to the 33-yard line. Crawford, by the way, with 17 carries, 94 yards. Bruce, with all of the weaponry that Dana Holgorsen has, what about the number of touches? Are they keeping count of the touches for these 3 backs that they have?
They are, Timmy. And the guy next to Dana, Ryan Dorchester, he's the recruiting coordinator. He's been here 12 years. He said Crawford's the most talented running back they've had here since he's been in Morgantown. Wow. Combination of Steve Slayton, a little Noel Devine, and a little Charles Sims.
Yeah.
He said he is just really, really explosive and special. By the way, married with 2 kids this summer, he moonlighted taking a job at Taco Bell at night.
I love that. Devontae Mathis on the receiving end there as Justin Crawford gets ahead to the 10-yard line.
He's been running for the border today, and it's been really exciting to watch them blend these running backs and have the kind of success that they've had. And I'll tell you, this is appetizing when you see you never really can get a beat on a group of 3 running backs when you have the potent, potentially passing attack that West Virginia has. Tough to defend. They put stress on every aspect of the field.
Yeah, they really do. Now, it's been down here where Missouri defensively has made life difficult for them. They've not been able to get much done once they've gotten in the red zone. They've had to settle for a lot of field goals.
Well, most teams, a third of your playbook goes outside the window once you get inside the 20. With a mobile quarterback, it actually expands.
Flags down, pre-snap.
Play of game, offense number 3, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Back to Los Angeles, another game break from Mike Hill.
Hey guys, I didn't see JT Barrett's name on your Heisman watch. You may want to add it after today. 6 TD passes on the day, tying his own school record. He's also got 1 on the ground. He's done for the day after 349 yards passing. 6 ranked Buckeyes rolling right now, 63-10 over Bowling Green in the 4th.
Urban not being too kind to his older warrior there. 63 points already against Bowling Green. Well, they don't have the dilemma at the position this year. Barrett is the leader. That could be helpful to them, Mike. Crawford again stopped really behind the line of scrimmage this time at the 16-yard line. Good penetration from Hall, number 24, yet again. Harris also involved.
You know, that Ohio State situation was kind of crazy with all 3 of those quarterbacks they have. And Braxton Miller's doing a tremendous job as a pro in a slot position.
Well, they were the consensus number 1 a year ago. Consensus. Well, this year, maybe less is more by only having 1 that you can turn to in Barrett. 3rd down and 13 for West Virginia.
If they want to throw the switch route, they've got it here. Nice job.
Looking for the corner. Oh, overthrown. You're right. It was for Karan White, and it was there.
Man, I'll tell you, the switch route is going to work with the wide side of the field. Again, it's because you've got off coverage here, and this is where the route works. Upside, you've got the outcut. The inside guy is going to run to defend that spot. But what happens is the guy over the top or the safety tends to zone in on that corner route and not look at the guy who's underneath, and you're going to have a wide receiver wide open. Switch route was in vogue on that play. They just missed it.
Molina from 33 yards. Working the draw right through there for yet another field goal for Mike Molina. He's had a big day. So has the West Virginia defense. Justin Arndt and company. But that Professor Irwin Corey-like hair, still frustrated. FS1 College Football is presented by Geico. Well, Mike Molina, 4 for 4 in field goals today. 19, 26, 21, and 33 yards. His boots.
That makes him Funky Cole Molina.
And it also, I'm assuming, brings some concern to the outstanding kicker that is Josh Lambert, who's having to sit the first 3 weeks, awaiting his opportunity after all of those game winners that he kicked a season ago. Alex Ross and Demarie Crockett again back deep for Missouri. As difficult as it's been for the Mountaineers offensively, you still get signs that once they get accustomed to one another, get used to some of the additions to their offensive football team, they will be an improved lot. They are coming off a 5-7 season a year ago where they really struggled offensively. We'll be back. West Virginia leads big with 7 and change remaining at home. 26-3 our score. The Mountaineers, as we mentioned, a team that has high expectations coming into this season. Some might say that Coach Holgorsen needs to have a great year, given what's happened after that first season when he inherited an Orange Bowl team that won 10 games. They are feasting for double-digit wins here. And he could not afford to drop a game like this one at home to start the season. That's Ray Wingo, number 14, with his first catch of the day for Missouri, well defended by Antonio Crawford.
Well, Tony, what is the old saying, Timmy, when they said that you're only as good as the person in position to take credit for your success?
That's right. Yep. Yeah, Oliver Luck is gone. That's right. He is no longer the athletic director here. That pass is caught up near a first down. Jamon Moore has been really the leading receiver from a year ago, the go-to guy today. We've only called Chris Black's number a couple of times, and Ross has pretty much been handled in check by West Virginia. Ross hammered. I mentioned Black. He's caught 3 passes today for 48 yards, so he's not gotten open quite enough. David Long with a huge hit right there for West Virginia. Now that's a solid throw, isn't it? Off the wrong foot. That tells you something about his arm strength right there.
There's also Emmanuel Hall who got open to pay that off. Nice job of avoiding the pressure. And again, Hall paid it off being available.
I know that Bruce Feldman keeps up with a lot of the talent coming up in recruiting circles. That's Alex Ross again ahead for a few yards. Jeremy Tyler making the stop.
Nate Howard was in there as well. I mean, there were a bunch of heavy bodies coming to the party on that one.
Ross, head's always up. I love his composure. He runs out of time, and the backside pressure does catch up to get him at midfield. Solid defensive play there by West Virginia. John Lewis, Jr., coming in to make the tackle. Redshirt junior from right here in Morgantown. 2nd and 8. Jamon Moore, the receiver. Bruce Feldman's got more on Drew Lock, and they're going to say that pass was incomplete. I beg your pardon, so we'll go down to Bruce in just a second. 3rd down and 8 here.
Empty in the backfield, going with 5 wide here, Tim.
Yeah, it's time to pull out all the stops. And it is 4-down territory, no question about it, the rest of the way.
Conscious of blitz, though, they bring that extra receiver down for protection.
And markers fly. Now, the timeout was taken by West Virginia.
Wise.
We were mentioning Drew Lock and how talented he is, but he really hasn't played a lot of football. And Bruce, you know about this young man as he's one of the elite quarterbacks really coming out of high school that played a lot of other sports too.
That's right, Tim. You know, he was an Elite 11 quarterback, but he was a really good two-sport guy, had offers for basketball at Wichita State, at OU, and even Missouri. But he was, unlike a lot of quarterbacks these days, he wasn't playing the position 365 days of the year. He'd go focus on basketball, play AAU basketball on that circuit. So really steep learning curve. When we talked to Josh Heupel about him the other day, the big thing is he said he has gotten so much better. His awareness, his pocket presence, his understanding of protections is very different. He said, I think he's going to be a great quarterback. We just don't know if it's going to be this early in the season.
Yeah, he reminded us that even though he's not the kind of quarterback per se, and he doesn't want to do that to the young man, say that he's like a Sam Crawford, he does have a similar background to what Sam Crawford had at Oklahoma. And that slant pass incomplete, intended for Sean Culkin. I think he meant, Spencer, when he was talking about Sam, I should have said Sam Bradford, I beg your pardon. He was talking about the basketball that Sam had played when he was in high school.
And Sam was deft at swinging the clubs and the sticks as well.
Yeah.
The point is he's a great athlete. Look, he's got great DNA. His father, Andy, was an offensive lineman here, and his grandfather, Jerry, played back in the 60s. Actually turned down an offer from West Virginia. So the guy's got DNA in his family. He's a Tiger through and through.
4th down and 8. Flushed from the pocket, needs a little help. And it's incomplete. It was intended for Emmanuel Hall. West Virginia will get it with the turnover on downs. It's going to take some time, but the show me guys will show eventually. 26-3 our score. We saw a bit of Chris Chuganoff earlier after Skyler Howard went down and Crest had the turnover. Latter stages of the second quarter. He's back in the game now with this one pretty much filed away for West Virginia. Justin Crawford takes the handoff and is stopped after a yard gain. Second down and 9 coming up. Sheldon Gibson checks back into the game for the Mountaineers. By the way, we have not mentioned this, but former Florida quarterback Will Grier has transferred and will be available, it would appear, for West Virginia, potentially as soon as next year. Justin Crawford takes it ahead. Here's a look at the AP Top 10 to start the season. Remember, again, the College Football Playoff Committee does not use it, but I've oftentimes said, Spencer, it does act as a starting grid of sorts. It's not like the committee is sequestered. They know who's ranked at the beginning of the season. And
a lot of those teams that are ranked are going to be exposed, and that has implication not just this week, but for the remainder of the year. And chief among them would be the University of Oklahoma Sooners. Last year saved by Lincoln Riley on the offensive side of the ball. They're getting spanked right now by the University of Houston Cougars.
Well, I would suggest that Bob Bowlesby and the Big 12 take a long look at the case being made by the University of Houston as a potential member to your 12 or 14 member conference beginning next year.
Houston is soon to be third largest city in the nation, and everybody talks about being a commuter school, but I can guarantee you when you start looking at the recruiting landscape, some of the elite players in America come from that area.
I've heard some rumblings that some Big 12 coaches, of whom I have tremendous respect for, have some issues with allowing another in-state institution, but this just in. College football coaches are interested in their programs.
Well, this just in, the college football world is flat, and you got to compete no matter where you are. And the good coaches out there understand that, and it's about building a better mousetrap or a better program, as the case may be.
Well, we touched on Will Grier, and Bruce Feldman knows about this young man, and I'd love to hear you chime in about what happened. Think about the program that McElwain had going on with Florida last year before his issues came up, and then all of a sudden the shell of the team they were offensively when they got to the SEC championship, Bruce. I mean, they were a completely different team.
Yeah, Tim, I talked to him for a while yesterday. Remember, he was 6-0 as the starter. The last game he played was actually they whooped this Mizzou team.
Yeah.
So, talking to this staff, they really love him. They say he's way more athletic than they thought. He's a film junkie, a gym rat. The players have responded well. Also, they said he's pretty mature. He looks it with the beard, and he looks older. He's married. He's expecting his first child, and they're excited about his future. And like you said, they expect him to be able to play the whole season next year.
I think maybe he just wanted to make sure everyone knew he wanted to be a Mountaineer. He's got the Mountaineer
He's got
look.
the mountain man look happening. And how does he wield a musket?
Alex Ross gets out ahead for a first down. But listen, think about this West Virginia program. After Geno Smith, who was inherited by Holgorsen when he got here, they've had transfers. It was Trickett. Trickett gets hurt. Skylar Howard comes in to replace him in a Kansas State game that we had here on a Thursday night, Joel Klatt and myself. And, this is a walk-on, right. Riverside Community College walk-on again and earns a scholarship here. They have been really without the so-called big, highly touted quarterback for a long period of time to be as successful as they've been offensively through the years.
Every quarterback they have, they've not been able to go to stem to stern with them. They've either ascended as a result of an injury or been thrown into the trial by fire because of other circumstances. They've not been able to get their own guy in here.
Jamon Moore with another reception, this one at the 40-yard line. Bruce, I think it's remarkable to think of what Dana's done without the so-called highly touted quarterback.
Yeah, Timmy, to echo this point a little further, too, you're Will Greer and you get here and you're like, wow, I left the big bad SEC. Mm-hmm. He's at a place now where he looks at it and goes, he has great receivers, he has really good running backs, and a deep offensive line. They're probably better at all three of those places than they were at Florida, which is quite a statement for this program.
Yes, it is. No doubt about it. And when they made the move from the Big East, the old Big East, all right, into this conference, the Big 12, they knew they were going to have to step it up in terms of the level of player they got. Chris Black got hammered at the 33 by Adam Schuler, the redshirt freshman, another Floridian from Longwood, making that tackle. 3rd down and 2. Ross. He has a first down. That was a huge hit by Schuler, one of many.
They're still coming again. You can see inside out. There's the big hammer coming. Nice effort. But boy, I'll tell you, he came hell-bent for election on that play.
Locke's pass. That is a laser complete inside the 10 to Black. When they get a little rhythm going between Locke, who's got all this talent, and accomplished receivers like Black and Jamon Moore, I think Missouri's going to be a much more efficient football team. That's Black again. Did he get in? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Mizzou. How about that for an athletic maneuver?
That's pretty impressive, Tim. I think you're onto something there. Along with Black, when they get Nate Brown, he's been out with that high ankle sprain. But watch Black here, showing you he's able to do a little Michael Flatley. Got a river dance into that end zone. Nice little effort there to get in. Well, nice footwork.
We mentioned we had not called his name that often. He only had 3 catches at one point. Now he's up to 5 with 76 yards and a touchdown. It's easy to get overlooked when you're in Tuscaloosa as a wide receiver, especially when this guy, Amari Cooper, happens to be on the same team.
A big difference. Lane Kiffin has done a tremendous job utilizing all the talent he has. They will always go, even though they won't use the passing game as the primary aspect, they're going to run the ball initially. And first and primary.
They're going to go for 2 here, obviously. It's Locke. And the pass is caught. Jamon Moore and the 2-point conversion. And for the numbers of you out there that keep up with such things, it's tightened up. Mizzou now down by 15. We'll be right back. October with that high ankle sprain. This is a program that really needs playmakers to emerge, and the plight of Chris Black, who was an outstanding talent. Look at where he was ranked coming out according to 24/7 Sports. Those are big time players.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
And he's right there. He was in fact ahead of Amari Cooper. And this is a young man that still got in his mind a lot to prove. He only had 25 catches, 290 yards in 3 years. Okay, he did have some impact plays, though, at Alabama in the time that he was there. and a couple of national titles to go with it. As we look for the onside kick right here. I believe they may have gotten it. I believe he got it himself.
Yes, he did.
How about that? Turner Adams gets the job done on his own. That's a solo onside that works. With 1:46 remaining.
It's got to travel 10 yards, but watch him. Does a nice job of eyeballing it, catching it on the positive bounce, grabbing it, making sure it goes 10. That's courage.
They had to see something on the film, did they not, that encouraged them to go straight up the middle as opposed to one corner or the other? They had to.
He has to have an aptitude to be able to make that kick. That's a tough kick, first of all, and then for a kicker to have the courage to go get it, knowing full well he's going to get dinged. That's pretty impressive, man.
Nana Kyram, number 14, was the only guy that had a chance at it, and it was as if West Virginia had the hands people all lined up to one side, not the middle. Locke running out of time. Lets it fly, and it's caught. That's Chris Black again.
What a great athletic throw and a catch by Black to pay it off. Great protection. We talked about how young and inexperienced this offensive line is. Didn't show on that play.
27 yards that hookup. Pass is incomplete. Javon Moore, the intended receiver. Here's the previous play.
And you can see how much time he has. And again, an athletic throw across his body. You don't recommend that. 4 defenders back there, and Black finds a way to come up with that catch.
That was a big league throw by Drew Locke.
Yes, it was.
Off the wrong foot. Body going in a different direction than where the arm has to go. 8 catches, 104 yards now for Moore. Locke trying to get Moore again, incomplete inside the 20.
We're preserving the clock. That's a good thing about it. Clock stops, the incomplete pass. Timmy, I'll take a shot here. It's third down, and they've got 4 wide receivers.
Still a couple of timeouts remaining. But they got to score quickly. And it's caught right between 2 defenders. Beautiful job. Missouri gets the job done. Dominic Collins with his first catch of the day.
Dominic's got a great body at 6'2", 175, a little on the thin side, but it range showed on that play.
Locke.
Nice.
Beautiful defensive play there. Stretching out and getting the job done. Jeremy Tyler, number 2. The free safety in front of Sean Colkin, the intended receiver.
Tyler's manned up, and they had a little switch call there, and he just does a great job of sticking his hand in there and batting that one away. Nice defensive play.
You touched on at the very beginning of the game what to watch for. The captain of that secondary that's so much improved under Tony Gibson. England from the sidelines for Moore again, but Antonio Crawford had him blanketed.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they go to Moore again, because this is where he does excel. He likes to make the acrobat plays. He likes the big stage. He likes to be the guy. He did this last year against BYU in a similar situation on a fade out cut.
Things have tightened up for Tony Gibson's defense here in the late stages.
They'll open it up for him, too.
Locke for the corner, incomplete. That's one of those where I know the receiver would love to see a little more air underneath the ball, Spence, but against that double coverage, he really did have to thread the needle.
Well, some players have an affinity for being able to go get the 50-50 ball, particularly when you got a guy with his back to you. He can make that catch. He's made that before.
4th and goal. What crowd is left is being heard from. On the slant, incomplete. Moore, the intended receiver, and Crawford broke it up.
Solid defensive play by Crawford. Again, everybody's manned up down here. Crawford came underneath and just stuck his hand in there. Jarred that one away. Locke had some heat on the ball. Nice soft coverage here. Nice end cut. Drove on that one. A little contact perhaps before the ball arrived.
I'd say so.
But it's bang, bang, man. It's tough to call it from behind.
I'd say that was a little premature. That's what they're saying in Columbia, Missouri right now.
He was a little early.
West Virginia will take over and run the clock out and say we're happy to be 1-0 and move on to the next one.
And to complete the thought, Tim, of the theme that kind of emerged throughout this game, this quarter, Missouri 185 total yards versus 69 for West Virginia. I mean, it has been a Dow Jones kind of up and down game.
Youngstown State is next up for West Virginia. Then they get a week off before playing BYU in Landover. Kansas State will be here on the 1st of October as they get into the heat of Big 12 play. And don't forget, coming up next, the Astros and Rangers. As a doubleheader, we'll be getting you ready for that game as we take you back to the studio at Los Angeles. By the way, the producer of today's game, Eric Billigmeyer, our director, Doug Freeman, associate director, Brian Biederman, broadcast associate, in the hot seat for the first time, Justin Tolbert. Our sideline producer, Mike Principato. Thanks for all their work. Brian Colucci, our computer statistician, Scott Alexander, handling talent stats, and Brett Bender, son of Gary, our spotter. Our entire technical team being led by Bill Moore Jr. For all of them, thank you for being with us today. Bruce Feldman and Spencer Tillman, a fun game to open with for us in a wonderful setting here in Morgantown, West Virginia.
Weather can't get any beautiful than this. It's an exciting place to be. The undulation of the hills, it's been outstanding view and good football, Timmy.
For our entire crew here in Morgantown, Tim Brando saying so long. Our final here, West Virginia 26, Missouri 11. And we're going to take you to our Los Angeles studio, where Kevin Burkhardt and company are standing by to bring you a doubleheader of Major League Baseball on FS1. Take it away, fellas.